Land of power, land of might, exceptional rage, endless fight, patriot bulldozer, leading the way, crushing all foes, making them pay. Flag in hand, fury in eyes, screams of pride, ignoring lies, iron grip, ruthless and cold, American dream, fierce and bold, bow before the storm, unstoppable wave, marching forward, no soul to save, bulldozers wrath, tearing apart, exceptionalism, fire in the heart, no retreat, no surrender, bulldozers force, a savage offender, red, white, blue, burning bright, in the chaos he finds delight, blazing trails of destruction left, in the name of the blessed, the theft, freedom's price, a crimson blade, bulldozer, savage again, legend made, bow before the storm, unstoppable wave, marching forward, no soul to save, bulldozers wrath, tearing apart, exceptionalism, fire in the heart. Blazing trails of destruction left, in the name of the blessed, the theft, freedom's price, a crimson blade, bulldozer, savage the fate, legend made, bow before the storm, unstoppable wave, marching forward, no soul to save, bulldozers wrath, tearing apart, exceptionalism, fire in the heart.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Dozer Den. If you have not yet smashed the like button, go ahead and give it a good thumping. Caress the like button. Lean in real close to that like button. Whisper sweet nothings in its ear, and then just pound away, because that's what you gotta do sometimes. And you might get excited about the like button. I get it, I do too sometimes. But if you have to hit it more than once, don't just hit it twice. That cancels it out. And you don't want to do that. You want to be a proud killdozer here in the Dozer Den. If you must hit it more than once, you must hit it at least thrice. For that is the way that we'll, stay up there. Keep it odd, guys. Keep it odd. You can comment in the comment section. Commenting is caring. It's very free as well. You can repost this stream here on Rumble, on pill.net, on the X Machine. I don't know about BitChute. Maybe on the dozerden.locals.com. You can like it in all those places. We are also on YouTube tonight too. So yeah, you can spread the things around in all the different places. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. We got a couple people watching on YouTube, some people watching on Locals. That's right, thedozerden.locals.com. To participate in the live chat, you do have to pay a measly $5 a month to be a member there. But the cool thing about that is you get all the benefits of a Rumble subscription, which includes your name being lit up in the most beautiful shade of MAGA red. Access to a plethora of wondrous, stupendous, fantabulous emotes, some animated, some not, hopefully all kind of entertaining. And you don't have to worry about being locked out of the premium content that I put out each month. I have to do 5 hours of premium content per month, as I am in the Rumble Creator Program. If you feel like re-upping your premium, or you want to get premium for the first time, do it when you're watching my content. Tap that Get Premium button. And that does reflect positively on this channel, according to the powers that be on the Rumbles. See, we had a few comments over there. Harry Toe. That. Number 1. You are the king on the YouTube comments. Harry Toe 1. Alright. Yes, the comment there. Strange thumbnail. The pilot ejected and still landed the plane on a hillside, put the emergency brake on, and the weapons officer crawled out onto the mountainside. Pretty sure it's not a real photo. It's astute observation. That is, in fact, an AI photo. That's what I use for my thumbnails. Grok Imagine does an amazing job. If you're watching on Salty Zippertit says, if you're watching on YouTube, you might just be gay. Hey, you know what? If you're watching in different places, that's okay. Wherever you may be watching, whenever you may be watching, I appreciate you. To all the people that watch after the stream, thank you. Future person. I hope that the aliens haven't taken over yet. Okay? Oh god, we ran some Salty Zippertits. You ran one of the two people watching on YouTube. You ran them off. They were here and you said goodbye. Yes. What is up, Sanglant? Good to see you. Oh man, guys. Oh man. I hope y'all are doing okay. Hope you're having a decent Monday evening. I was getting the kids to bed. As I was working on getting the stream together, my middle dozer, she was hanging out on the bed waiting for me to get done setting my stream up, and then all of a sudden, as I'm typing things out and sharing out all the links, I hear snoring. Gentle snoring. Like it's more heavy, like a real deep heavy breathing. But I'm like, at first I asked her, I said, "You falling asleep over there?" She goes, "No, I'm just waiting." But is Salty drunk again? Maybe. Salty, are you drunk? And what's up, 17George76 over there on pill.net? Thanks for the red pill and the repost. And for participating in that live chat over there. Good to see ya. Good to see ya indeed. There. A raccoon doing a really cool move on a snowboard for you. One of the stickers I share. Excuse me. But anyways, guys, Let's see. No, but always dabbed. Salty is not drunk, but dabbed up. Dabbed up indeed. If you guys can share this stream out with your loved ones, your friends, your family, your ex-girlfriends, boyfriends, Zers, and friends, I'm not judging. Just keep it consensual between adults and preferably behind closed doors, and we will not have a problem. We talk about stuff and things here in the Dozer Den, y'all. Stuff and things. Enunciation, quite important indeed. The cool thing about the locals being extended time-wise, I don't think I need to set up another, where typically I would like copy and paste like my blurb with the link and everything in locals and then start a new live chat. Oh, I do need to end my old live chat. That is something I need to do. Live chat is active on locals. There will be a live chat active 24/7. So that's the only thing that I think I might need to fix or might need to work on, keeping one open 24/7. So, because I don't know if the live chat closes at the end of the stream or not on locals with a pinned one. I'll see. I haven't really, I don't know. We'll take a look though whenever the show is done. Let me join the last stream's live chat in that one. Bam. There we go. What's up, down 7232? Good to see you. What's up, Frog Springs? Ribbit. Thank you for participating in the live chat. Whatever. That's right. Whatever. That's right. 17 George says, whatever works, bro. Hope it helps the pain. Because you got a lot of stuff going on, don't you, Salty Zippertits? Salty Zippertits, how's the health going? I mean, it's not like, don't have to put all your PHI out there or anything, but I hope you're doing okay. people have a lot of stuff going on health-wise, and praying for everybody that is dealing with any health struggles. So, and I hope everybody had a very, very happy and blessed Easter. If you celebrate, maybe if you're a pagan, you celebrate Ostara. If that's the case, well, a late happy Ostara to you. Damn rabbits. Sanglant's having fun with words in the chat. Very nice. Yes, but let's see. Did I miss anything? I think I got all the stuff out the way. We're gonna have a good show tonight. It's Monday, a rather mundane Monday for me. Work was work. Came home, blew some leaves around because I had some leaves up on the concrete pad underneath the deck. So actually, the kids started, and I was helping train them on blowing leaves around. Proper leaf blowing technique. It is important. There is a technique to leaf blowing. There is. It's minute things, subtle things that you have to remember when you're blowing leaves around. But I was training them up quite well, and my 10-year-old started it. Well, I started it, technically. Then the 10-year-old took over, and then I was kind of coaching her, and then my 8-year-old wanted to do it a little bit, so I started coaching her on it, and she actually stuck to it more than the 10-year-old did. And then I had to finish it up. But guys, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the repost, comment, all those good things. Follow me on the X Machine. We had 4,050-something followers. And X does this. I don't know if they're all bots. I really don't. But I had around 4,050. I'm now down to 4,001. We're just going to keep going down in the numbers. And here's the thing. I would love to know how many of my followers on X are bots. Because I honestly don't get that much interaction. So I'm beginning to think that most of them probably are. Is dead internet theory a thing? Is it? Perhaps. Oh, Sanglant and Neuro, if you're in the chat. The cool thing about having the locals up the whole time, that live locals chat should pop up on the screen with the other chats too. So eventually, maybe X will allow Rumble to have the comments that might pop up over there too. So tip 1, keep your girl behind you. They do not like fake wind. There you go. Oh, damn. Salty zipper tits. Spent most of the weekend in bed with lower back, hip issues. Otherwise good. It's feeling better today, but it took a sick day anyways, just to make sure it doesn't take me out next weekend when bills are due. Gotta take care of yourself, man. Gotta take care of yourself. Very good. There you go. There it is. Look at that. Look at that. The local chat up on the screen. Getting some local stuff. Very, very nice. Just don't use a leaf blower on the snow when looking for evidence on the scene of a crime like the cops did when John O'Keefe was murdered. Karen Reed was innocent. She was. She was found innocent, wasn't she? I think she was. I can't remember. I didn't pay attention to that one very much. But you'll figure it out as the bots die off from all the server shutdowns as ICE gets the illegals. Perhaps. I do believe that in large part X is pretty much fake and gay, but I do like X for the news, and a lot of the topics that we have for the show end up coming from stuff that I find on X. And you have to fact check, you have to get a few sources corroborating what you've seen, but I will say X has some very, very quick news. Very quick news. But with speed comes the need for pause when it comes to information. I will say that. So be careful. Get a few different sources, kind of confirming what you've read, and then yeah. Hung jury first time innocent of everything, but DWI after they tried her. That's right. They did that. Yep, I remember. Okay, yeah, they got her for the D. Jesus, lovely. That's murder, DWI. No, that's fine. I'll take the DWI. Why not? It's not too bad, right? But anyways, guys, we've got a good show. We're going to talk about a few things tonight. First topic of the evening, we are going to talk about the daring, exceptional Iran rescue. They got deep into the country. It wasn't that deep, but it was in there a good bit. Pilots, weapons systems manager, I think is the title, something like that. We had a few people down, and we had to send people in to get them. And it was quite rough from what I understand. Apparently there were hundreds of IRGC individuals on the ground combating our guys. I don't think they're going to release any information on any casualties we might have had, probably. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if that's the right thing to do. I would rather... War's a tricky one. I don't know I don't know what to believe because the fog of war is going to be thick in either direction. You're going to have propaganda on both sides. I was watching something with Kim. No, actually, I was watching Redacted, and I like Redacted a lot of the time, but some of the stuff that Scott Ritter almost gleefully was saying, like, "Oh, we're getting whipped." I was like, I don't think we're getting whipped. I think we probably. I would like things to be going quicker, but I don't think you can look at what's happening and say we're getting our tails whipped in this military interaction. I don't think you could say that. So, oh shoot, heck yeah, Cheddar Steve, good to see you, bud. Thanks for that. I have not checked my emails recently. I am terrible at that. I need to be better. Let me see. Let me pull it up right now, actually. We're doing it live. Oh. Oh, it might have gone to my junk. Let me see. Last email I have is 3:30, which I need to check on that. Let's see. Mountains of dead, Islamists, 0 casualties. I hope that's true. Salty Zipper Tits, I really hope that's true that we had 0 casualties. Let's see. 17 George, you want a fun dig? Try finding the old mainstream talking about the NATO charter after the fall of the USSR. It's been scrubbed. Ooh, interesting. So framing her cost her a career in her home. Man, she should. Wonder if did she get started like a Give Sing Go or anything? Because after the notoriety from that, she would probably get something from it. But Scott Ritter's a fool. He predicted the IDF would be destroyed in Gaza. He predicted Bibi would be overthrown by his own people. He predicted the Ukraine could wipe out the Black Sea Navy. Yeah, Scott Ritter almost gleefully was talking about us being whipped. I'm like, bro, what the hell are you talking about? Like, I like listening to people with different perspectives. That's why every now and then I'll listen to Kim Iverson until they just get stupid, which Redacted rated into Kim Iverson. And this guy on there was like mocking Trump for his bone spurs is the reason why he didn't go to Vietnam. You can have some what most people would consider minor health issues that can disqualify you from service. It sounds like that was probably legit. So, that guy, I don't know who the guy was that she had on, but they were just like, they get so far left on some things. Like, she's middle on a few things, but for the most part, she's pretty much a communist. I mean, from the little bit that I listen, it's like every now and then I'll tune in, but I get pissed off. I might have called her a CUNT, one of those days, and then their mods blocked me, muted me. They muted me. They let me back. I'll give them that. They let me back in. But that dude's on the good drugs, the one that really fucked with the brain. Something, I don't know. He's on something. I know there's some history apparently with him in the past. Something involved with someone getting him caught up with some messages. I think was it him? Was it Scott Ritter that had some messages back and forth between some not so good stuff? I don't know for sure, so I don't want to throw that out there and not have any information or facts to back that up. But yeah, only thing IRGC got were a pair of American flag underwear. Nice. Politics aside, Scott Ritter simply talks out his ass, but it does sound very official. His body of work and opinion. Yeah. I figured that out after listening to him a couple times. I'm like, very little actual substance behind what he says. He bloviates a bit, or pontificates, I suppose. He's got a knowledge base, so I guess maybe not pontificate, but a little bit bloviation, I think. Check my junk folder. There's 3 in my junk. I might have to get on my computer. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get on my computer, man. I'm not seeing anything. And, nothing since 3:30. It's weird. Oh, wait. There we go. I found it. I had to open something up. I got it. We're good. Cheddar Steve, I got you. Sweet. I need to get my Sticker Mule, shop up and running. I've got some ideas. I had some stickers and stuff. I just didn't pay the $5 to initiate. So, by the way, Flag Undies sold out in an hour after the post I've heard. Yeah, nice. Is that really? Did they really only find a pair of American flag underwear? That's hilarious. Salty Zipper Tits, is that real? That's great. What's up, Potar Jr.? Good to see you. Having difficulty finding amateur astronomers viewing Artemis. Huh. Interesting. Oh, man. But I do hope you guys are doing well today. That's the first topic. We're going to talk about the Iran pilot retrieval officially. Got an article about it. Got a little video about it, a minute-long video. I will say, I was not a fan of Trump's statement on Truth yesterday. It was Easter. Wrong day, dude. Pick a different day. Another day, if you want to say that, go for it. I just was not a fan of him making that comment on Easter. Not my, there's a level of decency. It's Easter Sunday, dude. Like, respect the day. Could have done it Monday. Like, if he'd have done it Monday, I'd have been like, okay, whatever. Not Easter Sunday. It's a day of celebration, a day of peace. Honestly, triumphing, Christ conquering death. That's what Easter's about. Rising from the dead. And, it just wasn't, just didn't, I wouldn't have done it, but I'm not the president. So, yeah. Oh, they found some used toothpaste and mouthwash too. Maybe they'll drink the mouthwash. So, the results are the results are key. Results are key. But yeah, wasn't a fan of it. Just me. Could have waited a day. That's all I'm saying. The second topic of the evening, we are going to talk about Burlison, Southwest Missouri representative, actually, from the Show Me State. Burlison has a little bit more information, or there's a little bit more, I guess there's more scientists. More scientists just keep coming up missing or dead. Dead. Or presumed dead. So, felt like we should cover a little bit more on that. And then Burchett on more alien stuff, guys. That's right. Burchett is talking a little bit more every time he was on TMZ, which kind of surprised me because TMZ is kind of trash. Burchett's not. I don't think Burchett's trash. I think he's one of the real. I think he's a real one. At least I hope he is. But with the whole Gates talking about alien human hybrids and him pretty much saying, well, I can't really either. I can't really confirm nor deny that I've been briefed on alien human hybrid breeding programs. I was like, the fuck? Okay. Yeah. I don't know. This very interesting stuff. It's fascinating to me. And I don't know if they're being misled. So whether they're being misinformed and then they're part of an op to distract us, but they don't really realize that they're part of the op. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but dead ones wouldn't go. Maybe. But the fact that they're just kind of disappearing is insane to me. Very concerning. Very, very concerning. But it'll be all right. Probably. Maybe. I don't know. Guys, by the way, when you repost, when you comment, I will be shouting you out as you do that during the stream. When you repost on Rumble especially, it does help the channel. Cool thing about reposting on Rumble, everybody that follows you is going to see your repost, and it goes in a repost tab on the Rumble page. Cool thought about it is, maybe it will expose this channel, this show, the Dozer Den, to more people so that we may welcome more killdozers here into the Dozer Den. And thank you to all the new followers. We've had quite a few new followers, actually. We're at 1,200 followers on the user profile and 185 in the channel, the Dozer Den. So we're like close to 1,400 followers in total, which is really, really cool. Thank you very much for the support, guys. In whatever way you were able to support the channel. By the way, there are all those free ways that you can support the channel. Plus, there are some monetary ways that you can support the channel. You can Rumble Rant. You can gift some subs. That's right. When you hit that red present box, you can shower the chat with your love. Or spray the chat with your love. Whatever verb you want to use, I'm not going to judge you, okay? We talk about stuffing things in the Dozer Den. You can donate on Pilled as well. You can also use a couple cool little things. Like, if you don't want to do it through the app, to the App Store, you can use Venmo. There's a QR code right in the face. But now I'm over here. Huzzah. You can use Venmo. You could also use Cash App if that floats your boat. Another QR code for you. I can't wait until we can get these preset. That'll be nice. That way I can have it pop up in the bottom right and the other one pop up in the bottom left. That way I can tickle the QR codes. It's because I like to. Okay, I like to tickle the QR codes. Yeah. there are those ways. That goes directly to the Dozer Den household. To all those that are able to donate on a regular basis, thank you so much for that. Helps out every couple weeks, paying an electric bill, at least some of an electric bill here or there, because my electric bills are so high right now, guys. I know y'all are feeling it too. Oh, God, I used to think a $300 electric bill was high. I used to think a $200 electric bill was high. How naive I was. Last one was like $400. What am I supposed to do with that? What am I supposed to do with that? I don't know. I don't know. Last time you reposted the show, you turned on premium, and then even though I couldn't, watch it, well, damn, if we get you gifted a sub, you'll be able to watch the premium content. I only do premium content for 5 hours of the month, so your electric dropped this much. Good Lord, good job for you, Salty Zipper Tits. I'm sorry I reposted, then you couldn't watch it. You could always subscribe for $5 a month. It's a possibility. Or when you have premium, if you have premium on Rumble, you can watch. When you have premium, you can watch everybody's premium content, not just mine. Everybody's. It's up to you, though. You guys got to do what you got to do. Saying just wait till they start charging for parent power. Yeah, you know what I want to dig into, guys? I want to do a deep dive. One of these streams, we might do a deep dive. I've been thinking about it, but I haven't done any research into it. I just think about it every time I drive by them on I-55. The solar fields, the solar farms, they're taking over potato fields with solar panels. And I was kind of thinking, wow, wouldn't that be really cool if they could use those? If they could use those solar panel fields to help, like, lighten the load of the system, like the network. Maybe that solar could help lower costs for the everyday working man and woman. That's a cool thought, right? But I kind of doubt they're actually doing that. I kind of doubt it. What's up, Rolo's mom over there on Pill? Thanks for the red pill. Appreciate you. What's up, Bess Henson? Good to see you. Apply for care and or fair assistance with electric bills. What's that? Care? C-A-R-E? Never heard of that. Fucking $400 a month. It's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that? Family of 5, $400 electric bill's like, okay, let's set up I finally did the budget billing. I'm like, give me $250 a month at this point. I'll take it. I don't even care. Like, this, just keep it regular. Because that stuff where it's just a freaking shock out of nowhere of, oh, hey, you're the a little over $400 this month. $380 the next month. It's like, could we not? Could we not? Solar is a lie, almost as bad as wind. Elon says it's the best thing ever. There might be some Chinaman influence in that, though. I don't know. Let's see. Care and Farah. It's not like the care for the Council on American Islamic Relations. No, that's different. It's care spelled like I care about it. I'm writing that down. I'm going to check that out. I want assistance to build a storm shelter. I want one in my dang garage. That's what I want. Yes. Let's see. Nuclear energy is the future. I want a nuclear reactor, a personal nuclear reactor in my car. I want that. We should be using that. Like Back to the Future. We should have that by now. Let's see. Nuclear energy. So, hey, what's up, Henson? But people in New York City were promised free transportation only for it to go up to 20%. Never forget. Yeah. The fact that they just, it was so quick. It was Mom Donnie turned on them so quickly. Hilarious. And you get what you get. Good job. Good job, socialists. Have fun with that. Don't do a full solar array for your house. Hook up solar panels independently for each appliance. That's a good idea, Frog Springs. Selective solar. The real fun is when they estimate it low for a few months, then charge you triple to make it back. That's what I think's been happening periodically. They installed these smart meters like a couple years ago, and ever since the smart meters were installed, we've been getting boned in the worst way. No, not even giving us not even cuddling afterwards with some of these bills, and it's awful. I hate it. Guys, did you know that any stream that we do here in the Dozer Den, if we hit $50 worth of donations, I'll put on a fancy hat. I have many fancy hats to choose from. There's a Burger King crown. There's a Hatter hat. There's a foil hat that we affectionately refer to as the Illuminable. And there's also a Patriot hat with a feather in it. And if you put a feather in your cap, you call it macaroni. That's what Yankee Doodle said. All right? It is. On good authority. You're in California, so the program's... Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep. 800 plus pounds of leaded concrete in a car would be great. Yes. Why not? Why not? Let's do it. Oh, and let's see. We've got ourselves... Oh, I forgot to interact with reposts from last stream. I'll be doing that later. Like, before I go to bed tonight. Is this the headphone hat? I mean, I guess. Maybe. I do have kitty cat ear headphones that do light up if I charge them. That hasn't been pulled out in a while, but that is an option. That is an option. There's a lot of non-red rash people in here. I agree, Harry Toe. There are a lot. Don't forget, guys, you can spread a rumble rash. You can, and most people would say you don't want to spread rashes, but this is a rash that everybody would appreciate it. Just saying. We got a lot of stuff. Oh, let me shout out the new followers. We got Grit, GRRTTW, and I gave you a follow after you followed me. Appreciate you. Blue Dragon Dream 1 just followed the Dozer Den channel. Mr. Scott Awesome. No, wait, that was on the... Oh, that's right. We had a violent cat fight, guys. I have a short to show you guys. I have a short. And good to see you over there on Rumble, Harry Toe. I have a short to show you. We got some new kitties. I didn't show them live on the stream the other day, but, you know, I can show them now, okay? Did a little short. Got some kitty cats. 33 views on that one. Is PG and E? No, I have Ameren. Freaking awful. Smart meters, it's going to make everything better. No, it didn't. It was awful. It's awful. It's been awful. You also have the light up cat ear headphones. Yeah, I stole them from my daughters. One of them's missing the little foamy thing, so they didn't like wearing them. I need to actually get a good new set of headphones. I saw Mally Mouse actually had a really cool set of headphones, and I looked them up. I haven't pulled the trigger and actually bought them yet, but they look really freaking cool. And would look good on my head. There's like some brown ones, like they're like a amber brown with a silver kind of look. So, smart meters also give you cancer. Huzzah! What doesn't give you cancer at this point? I've just resigned to the fact my stepdad had cancer on his nose. They had to cut off like about a quarter of his nose. He's okay now. Probably. He's in his 80s. 84. He's gonna be 85 this year in November. He's getting up there. You can replace the ear pads. I know, but I haven't done that. Okay? I just feel the pain and I just embrace it. You know, whenever I do put the kitty cat headphones on, they light up. They're not charged right now. So they won't light up right now, but they would go on my head, I guess, if we hit the $50 mark tonight and somebody wanted me to put them on my head, I would. Because I'm comfortable with my masculinity, okay? Very comfortable with my masculinity. 80's the new 60. That's right. Salty Zipper Tits. Don't let them tell you anything different. Let's take a look at these vicious kitties. Ginger and Onyx. These are the two cats. They decided to fight viciously in front of me the other day. We haven't officially introduced them to Domino. Now, Middle Dozer, she had Ginger earlier. And showed Ginger to Domino. Domino sniffed her, didn't hiss or anything, but she promptly ran away and hid under the bed. I don't think she's come out from underneath the bed since then. She might be downstairs somewhere, but she didn't seem happy. I think she might feel like we're replacing her. We are not replacing Domino. We're not replacing Oreo either, because you can't actually replace the cat that died. But yeah. Oh yeah, I know about it. I've talked to him before. Frog Springs, thank you for the help. I appreciate that. Yeah, it just gets so sucky when it comes to that. But it's like, oh, and mortgage bills go up too. It's like, whew, look at that. Property taxes go up, so every other bill, you're like, okay, when you get your mortgage, right? You're like, oh, it's going to be locked in. It's going to be this price. It's going to be this payment every month, right? Well, your property tax goes up, and then they have to do an adjustment because your escrow has to go up to compensate, right? So that was cool to learn about in my late 20s. I'm 35 now. I figured that out. Well, no, I figured that out probably when I was about 31 because it's the first time it happened. I hadn't seen it happen before that. So there you go. All right, cat fight.
Vicious. What a vicious battle waged between two fluff balls. Who will win? One has retreated. Is it a strategic retreat? We'll see. Alas, there was not much strategy involved. They are now hidden in the curtain. Chaos ensues. Absolute chaos. Onyx and Ginger. Or Nala. I can't remember her name.
Pretty sure it's Ginger.
Strategic use of cover. This curtain will be destroyed. Is it because of the grumpy cat? / Ariel. It's majestic.
We've had that shower cat curtain for like ever.
And they fight on. Tail. Such violence this Easter.
Yeah, it was Easter. Oh,
Got to love the nature.
this was yesterday, Easter Sunday. I thought black cats fought in packs. usually they do. The didn't do nothing cats. Didn't do nothing kitty. This is actually a short. I'm liking it because this is where I grew up. This is the cow pasture. Yes, I was raised in the cow pasture. This is the cow pasture that I spent a lot of time out at whenever I was growing up on the farm. I love this time of year. The way the sun hits the trees, the little green leaves sprouting, everything is just coming back to life, just bursting with life now. Absolutely love this time of year. And I was out fishing with my brothers because that's what we do every Easter. After we have our Easter celebration at, Mama Dozer's house, eat some, food, get the kids out there hunting Easter eggs. Are there mushrooms out there? Yes, I think there are. Have I harvested any of them? No, but I know people that I think have. I haven't really. I don't know enough about that stuff. So I'm just like, you want to go for it, you go for it. But yeah. Oh yeah, living out on the farm is amazing. But I was out at the pond fishing with my brothers. Caught a 4-pounder, but it was like an ugly. It was a male. The male largemouth typically have like squawnier bodies. They got a big old head, but their bodies are a little bit smaller because they're not the ones fattening up and dropping eggs. They're just blowing their loads all over the eggs, right? That's their job. That's what they do, and they eat. They eat and then they fertilize. But yeah, here I figured I would just share a glimpse of what I got to grow up with. One day maybe I'll put a house out there.
Look at that. Fishing out by the cow pasture. Gotta love it. Excellent. Bam.
Used to have bonfires like right around here. That's where we used to have our bonfires. Toward the end of high school and out of high school, into college a little bit, we'd set up a bunch of freaking logs out here, and we'd just have a good time. We had 50 people out there at one point, and then we had somebody try to knife somebody, and then it kind of got a little bit less rambunctious after that because we're just like, yeah, bro, we can't have that out at our place. No, had to take this little dude. I'll tell you afterwards. After this.
Yep. This is what it's about right here.
It's gorgeous.
Rolling hills, nice green grass.
That was dark. Quarter-mile long driveway, 17 George.
Nature therapy.
Ain't nobody coming out there. Nope. There we go. Well, there we go. This felt like sharing that with you guys. But anyways, yeah, one time, we had one of our last huge bonfires out there. Um, one guy had some stuff in his system that should not have been in his system, not on somebody else's property, especially not my stepdad's property. And he got too messed up, and he had been just trying to get this big dude. This guy, stout son of a bitch, farm boy as well, but he was like jacked, like one of those people that's insanely looks like his just natural steroids almost. Big old boy. And the druggy kid, which is what he was at the time, I think he still is, sadly, but he kept trying to get this big guy to fight him. He's a little dude just squawking, like ankle biter, nipping. And after about an hour of talking all kinds of stuff to this big dude finally said, "Fuck it." Took his shirt off, said, "All right, I'm gonna beat your ass. Let's go. You've been asking me to fight you. I'm gonna go ahead and beat your ass now. Like, you've talked enough shit. You've pissed me off enough. I've drank enough. I'm gonna go ahead and beat your ass now." And when he was ready to go, little guy who had been trying to get him to fight him the whole freaking time for over an hour pulls a knife. First of all, bitch made as fuck. Second of all, you literally asked for this for an hour, and now you're gonna pull a knife? Like, what? Little brodozer got it, scuffled with him for a second, got the knife away from him. No, knocked the knife out of his hands by throwing him on the ground. And then we had a friend that was a midget, and he waddled over, ran over real quick, grabbed the knife, and then put it in his pocket. It's hilarious. I'm just like, everyone sobered up real quick after he pulled the knife. We're just like, what the fuck's wrong with you, dude? And I ran over, and he was so light. And I mean, I'm a stout dude, and I just picked the guy up. And I said, I picked him up, and I set him, I had my tailgate down. I said, sat him on my tailgate, and I said, fucking stay. Right fucking there. We're gonna get you home. You're not coming back. And, yeah. Wasn't the best end to a bonfire. The bonfire kept going after that, but it soured the mood quite a bit. When somebody pulls a knife, yeah, don't start it. That's the thing, he was starting it. He was starting it the whole damn time. Big guy said, fine, let's go then. You want to fight? Let's fight. Kid pulled a knife. And I talked to him later after he sobered up. The next time when I saw him in town, I told him, I said, man, I said, I like you. Because when he wasn't on that stuff, he was okay. Actually a fun guy to be around. But drugs will fuck you up. Those kinds of drugs. Not the right one. Just there's smart ways to go about that stuff, and he wasn't being smart. And I just told him I had to confront him about it, and I don't know if he was around his friends or not, but I just told him, I said, hey man, we gotta talk about what happened at the last bonfire. That can't happen. And after talking with, it's not my property. It's my mom and stepdad's property. I said, after, that was not reported. Thankfully, there wasn't any cops involved, but there very well could have been. I said, just in general, we're out there to have a good time. We're not out there for that nonsense. You come out to our place and you do stuff like that and you bring drugs like that out to our place. It's not acceptable. And I like you, dude, but you can't come out there anymore. Just gotta be blunt with you. We can't have you out there. And he kind of looked down. He's like, he's like, yeah, that's fine. I get it, man. And I think he's still alive. I don't think he's one of the ones that's sadly passed from drug use. A lot of people in Southeast Missouri, not a lot, but there's a lot of drug use in Southeast Missouri. Meth. There's a lot of meth. And people get stuck in that path in life, and it's really hard to get out of it. So if you're ever struggling with stuff like that, please ask for help. Please ask for help. Don't get stuck in that stuff. But yeah. But anyways, that was story time in the Dozer Den. Let's go ahead and get into the first topic, guys. The daring rescue. Harry Toe, yes, you are correct. That is an AI photo. That is not a real photo. But we did bomb the planes. We bombed the equipment afterwards. So technically, the equipment was on fire, I think, at some point. Inspired by real events. Okay? Inspired. Drugs are bad, okay? There are other drugs that person could have been taking that would not have led to a knife getting pulled. What is up, Salt Dumpster, good to see ya. I always have at least 3 staplers near me. Salute to staplers. Why? Why do you have 3 staplers? I mean, yeah, especially if you do office stuff. Man, I never thought I'd be working an office job, but it's, you know what? It's a pretty good job. I like my job. I like what I do. I try to help people. It's the goal anyways. Let's go ahead and get into the first topic. We're 45 minutes into the show. My God. And we might do some premium stuff at the end of the show tonight. I don't know if we're going to do premium stuff or not. We'll see. We'll see. But let's see. Oh, I forgot to say thanks to Flashwolf for following the channel last Saturday as well. We had quite a few people here on the Saturday show. Guys, if you didn't know, I stream Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 9 p.m. Central. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, we do about 3 to 4 news topics with palate cleansers sprinkled about. Saturday streams, it's a hangout stream, a decompress stream, a chill stream for all you amazing killdozers here in the Dozer Den. We have 1 or 2 official topics, but for the most part, I take music video requests for the Dozer Den DJ Hour, where you can rock out with your cock out, jam out with your clam out. Those are the only 2 options, and if you're intersex, I ask that you please pick a fucking lane. Why isn't it bigger? I'll make it bigger. There. Close enough. Away with you. When I come back, small again. Gotta work on that. They know about it. They're gonna work on it. Ugh, excuse me. Oh, staplers for knives to close up knife wounds. Yeah, not like office work or anything. Just immediately, we're closing up knife wounds with staples. Hooray! Excellent. I'm a fan. I am a fan. I see 18 people watching on Rumble. I see 14 likes, including myself. Because if you're not liking your own stream, what are you really doing? Honestly, what are you doing? Let's take a look at this article here. We've got from Time. But first, actually, I have a something from X. Short little... Where'd it go? There we go. A little clip from Fox News. Silence. From Colin Rugg, 2 L's, 2 G's. Worth a follow on the X machine, in my opinion. Pretty good breaking stuff, usually. So, usually not full of crap. So, do you guys like it whenever I've got the picture over to the side, or do you like it when I do the picture-in-picture when I go down in the bottom corner there? Which one do you like? I kind of think I like this, but it's, you know, I'm just testing it out. So, let's take a look here. Looks like the rescued F-15 crew member said God is good over his radio after ejecting from the aircraft over Iran, according to Axios. Here are remarkable details about the rescue. According to Axios, the rescued crew member is religious. The crew member survived more than 24 hours in the mountains while wounded. 200 soldiers from special ops units participated in the rescue. The F-15 was shot down with a shoulder-fire missile. Thousands of these savages were hunting him down, Trump said. Thousands of savages. Thousands, not just hundreds, not just tens. Thousands of savages were hunting him down. That is not a good Trump voice right now. What is wrong with me? Trump said, the officer hid in a crevice. Get in the crevice. Hid in a crevice in the mountains and was found thanks to U.S. technology. The officer said God is good after ejecting. We said that already. The 2 crew members were spread apart by a couple miles. Hundreds of IRGC soldiers were everywhere, a defense official said. The CIA initiated a deception campaign to try to confuse Iranian forces and convince them the airmen had already been rescued and was moving out of the country in a ground convoy, the New York Times reported. The airmen reportedly evaded Iranian forces by hiking up a 7,000-foot ridgeline. Hence the thumbnail, him climbing up a mountain. That's what that was about. U.S. attack aircraft dropped bombs and opened fire on Iranian convoys to keep them away from the area while the airman was hiding, the New York Times continued. In a final twist, after the weapons officer was rescued, 2 transport planes that would carry the commandos and the airmen to safety got stuck at a remote base in Iran. Well, that's not good. How'd they get stuck? Commanders decided to fly in 3 new planes to extract all the U.S. military personnel and the airmen, and they blew up the 2 disabled planes rather than have them fall into Iranian hands. So maybe they didn't blow up the one that was on the I mean, it was hit with a surface-to-air missile, so maybe it caught on fire. I don't know, Harry Toe.
News can report that on Saturday morning, the CIA was able to locate and confirm this U.S. service member in a mountain ridge south of the city of Isfahan. And that is when the appropriate calls were made to relevant parties, including the Secretary of War, the Joint Chiefs Chairman, and the President himself, who ultimately ordered this operation. And within 12 hours, we can report there were U.S. Special Forces on the ground inside of Iran
Delta.
rescuing this U.S. service member. Fox News has learned that after the fighter jet was shot down on Friday, the weapons systems officer hiked to an elevated mountain ridge where he hid and waited for retrieval. The pilot of the jet was rescued by U.S. Special Forces on Friday, but President Trump said they waited to confirm as to not jeopardize this second operation. The president added, quote, "This is the first time in military memory that 2 U.S. pilots have been rescued separately deep in enemy territory." The IDF said they avoided striking this area as American planes and helicopters flew at a low altitude. Fox News can report that on Saturday morning,
There we go.
the CIA was able to locate.
Yeah, I mean, it just, God is good, though. Amazing. Amazing that they were able to do that. Oh, shoot. Really quick. I don't know how to feel about this. I guess it's kind of cool. Drones, depicting Christ on the cross. Not sure why that song, but okay. This would be his soul leaving his body? Is that what that is? Oh, it's the other ones. Huh. I don't know. I mean, there were 2 other people being crucified at the same time, so maybe. But anyways, let's go ahead and get that down here. Bam. Bam. Christ commanded us to love one another. He did. He sure did. Ah, yeah, that's fair enough. Applicable, Frog Springs. Applicable. I agree. Let's take a look at this article from Time. Absolutely salty zipper tits. Hope everybody had a great Easter, a blessed Easter. Hope you were able to hang out with family. And if you weren't, you know what? I hope you were able to spend some time just reflecting on the reason for the holiday. It's not about eggs and the Easter bunny. That's part of it. We stole that from pagan tradition. But yeah, it's about Christ conquering death so that we may enter into the kingdom of heaven. That's what I believe. Let's share this article and start getting into it. This is from Time. There we go. Let me see here. From Time, and let me see who the author was. I like to give credit. Safe and Sound. How a U.S. airman shot down in Iran was rescued from a mountain crevice. Not a crevasse, a crevice. This is by Richard Hall and Rebecca Schneid. All right. A United States Air Force member who was missing behind enemy lines for more than 24 hours after his F-15E fighter jet was shot down in Iran on Friday has been rescued, President Donald Trump announced early Sunday morning. "We got him," Trump wrote on Truth Social shortly after midnight. "The U.S. military sent dozens of aircraft armed with the most lethal weapons in the world to retrieve him. He sustained injuries, but he'll be just fine. Just a few boo-boos." I gotta clip that out. I read most of his statement. It was a lot. It was a wall of text. I did most of it in Trump voice. Harry Toe gave me a 9.9 out of 10 on the Trump voice. First, it was 10 out of 10. But it's because he was excited. He backed off of it. No man is perfect. Especially not me. I need to get some more Double Oaked Woodford Reserve for next Saturday, y'all. That I'm not gonna lie, this proper 12 is it's cheap, but my goodness, it's impactful. It is impactful, and it kind of gives me a little bit of a headache the next day. But I didn't hydrate, and that's my fault. I know better than that. You gotta hydrate, guys. There you go. So the F-15E jet was shot down over southwestern Iran on Friday, according to multiple U.S. officials. Accounts of the incident causing the pilot and the weapons system Systems Officer, WSO, to eject. The pilot was rescued soon after, but the second airman, whom Trump described as a highly respected colonel, spent more than 24 hours evading capture in the mountainous region. This brave warrior was behind enemy lines in the treacherous mountains of Iran, being hunted down by our enemies who were getting closer and closer by the hour, Trump wrote. This is the first time in military memory that 2 U.S. pilots have been rescued separately deep in enemy territory. The F-15E was the first U.S. military aircraft to be shot down inside the Iran since the start of the Iran War on February 28th, when the U.S. and Israel launched a surprise attack that killed the country's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, more than 100 school children in a single day, and more than 100 school children in a single day. I've heard conflicting reports on that. I've heard that might have been a missile that fell that was coming out of Iran. I don't know what to believe. There's fog of war on all sides. So what's up, Two Wild Irish Rose over there on pill.net? Thanks for the red pill in the repost. Appreciate the heck out of you. All the support, wherever it is. Whoever leaked the news he was missing is in some... Yeah, that's it's an Israeli journalist, actually. An Israeli journalist leaked that. And he said that they were going to jail that journalist, which they should. Fuck that guy. But it's an Israeli journalist, so we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. And okay, just gonna say, that was one report that I read, that it was an Israeli journalist named something like Yemeni or something like that. Not Avi Yemeni, but like, I think it was Yemeni or Yemeni, something like that. But, yeah, Trump was pissed, and rightfully so, because that could have jeopardized the operation. And it was a deception operation, for sure. Yeah, not good. 100 school children in a single day. U.S.-based rights group, Human Rights Activist News Agency, HRANA, says 3,531 people have been killed by the U.S.-Israeli bombing in Iran so far in the war, and that 1,607 of that number were civilians, including at least 244 children. 13 U.S. service members have also been killed. I don't like that. Another U.S. warplane, an A-10 Warthog, also crashed near the Strait of Hormuz on Friday. According to Fox News, the Warthog was covering fire for rescue teams searching for the pilot. The Iranian military said its air defenses brought down the A-10 and released a video that claimed it showed the aircraft being shot down. But U.S. officials have not said what caused the A-10 to crash. 2 rescue helicopters were also hit on Friday during the operation to locate the missing airmen. Iran State TV aired a video on Sunday of what it claimed were 2 American helicopters and a transport plane shot down by the country's military during the rescue operation for the second F-15 airmen. U.S. officials told the Associated Press that the U.S. military blew up the planes after they suffered a malfunction. Time reached out for comment from the Pentagon, the Department of Defense, and the White House. Probably didn't get any response from them. I don't blame them. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Hiding in a mountain crevice. According to accounts given by U.S. officials to various outlets, the airman used his mandatory survival, evasion, resistance, and escape SEER training to evade capture for a day and a half. A defense official told Axios that the pilot and the airmen were spread apart by a couple miles with hundreds of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, soldiers everywhere. The rescue operation involved hundreds of Special Forces troops and military personnel, as well as dozens of U.S. warplanes and helicopters. The operation was done at night after the U.S. had established a temporary base in Iran. A temp base. Okay. So Red Delta, apparently it's not a permanent one, just a temporary one. The defense official told Axios, Israel shared intelligence about the situation on the ground, the official said. Israeli officials told Axios that the Israeli Air Force carried out one strike to block Iranian forces from reaching the area. Well, damn. Thanks, guys. That was nice of them. They've been good partners. They've been great and brave people. We are like a big brother and little brother, Trump told Axios. Okay. After the crash landing, the colonel hiked up a 7,000-foot mountain. Man, that's over a mile. Because 5,280 feet is a mile. That's a big one. Mountain ridgeline and hid in a crevice. While evading capture, he activated an emergency beacon, which allowed U.S. forces to locate him. 2 U.S. officials told Fox News. Good Lord, told Fox News. I cannot get my timing right on the reading today. Ugh. I swear I haven't even had a drink or anything this evening. Just dealt with the yard work / wrangling children. A military official told the New York Times that the airmen's signaling was intermittent. The CIA was at the center of the operation, launching a deception campaign to throw off Iranian officials. According to Axios, it said CIA operatives spread a false campaign within Iran that both crew members of the downed F-15 jet had already been found and that the U.S. forces were working on exfiltration, trying to confuse Iranian officials who were also working to capture the officer. Yeah, that's all good until you figure out that the little brother wants to screw mom. Oh, yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that. No. Any recent vaxes? Not high. Not high. Thank you so much, Frog Springs. I appreciate you. Guys, don't forget to hit the repost, share this stream out in all the different places that you can. Spread the word of the Dozer Den to welcome more Killdozers into the Killdozer army. Currently metaphorical. Probably going to stay that way. Let's see. Trump told Axios that U.S. officials initially suspected the airman might be in Iranian captivity and sending false signals to create a trap. The airman had sent a short radio message that said, "God is good," a defense official told Axios. Trump told the outlet the message said, "Power be to God," and that what he said on the radio sounded like something a Muslim would say. Well, shit. The CIA used special technology to locate the airman and determine that it was him. An official told The Times. The CIA also reportedly facilitated an unconventional assisted recovery, a UAR, a process in which the agency contacts civilians willing to aid or shelter U.S. military forces. Interesting. While the airman was hiding in the mountains, IRGC said it was searching the area near where the pilot's plane came down, and Iranian officials issued a public plea for locals to find the crew member, offering a reward of $60,000. I wonder what that is in Iranian money. Yeah, this will make a good movie. I agree, Essenson. They should definitely make a movie out of this. I would be all about that. Trump was pissed off in that briefing today because of a leaker that is traitor shit and would be treated as such when the guys... Apparently they know the guy. Apparently it was an Israeli journalist that leaked it. I'll look it up here in a second. Let's see. Videos posted online showed locals from the area where the jet went down forming search parties to find the airman. According to the Times, U.S. aircraft dropped bombs on convoys that approached the area where the airman was hiding. When the airman was found, he was taken to two MC-130J aircraft that were waiting nearby to exfiltrate him out of the country, but the aircraft malfunctioned. Bad look. Not good at all. Which led to U.S. forces destroying the two disabled planes and 4 helicopters. That's millions and millions of dollars. Okay. The Times reported the commandos and injured airmen were eventually reloaded onto 3 replaced aircraft, according to the Times. Trump announced just after midnight on Sunday that the airman, whom he described as a highly respected colonel, was safe and sound. He said in a later post that the airman was seriously wounded and that he would hold a press conference on Monday at 1 p.m. at the White House. I didn't even get a chance to watch that. You guys want to watch that? What's up, Hamburglar Halper? Good to see ya. What's up, Hopper433? Good to see ya. Implanted homing device. Maybe. That would make sense. It's 3 years of pay over there. Damn. If they were able to help, get that person found, that's great. That is great. Where is that? I wonder if that was on the, I don't know. Do you guys want to watch? Do you want to watch his press conference? How long was that? I didn't get a chance to watch it. I was busy with work today, so. Guys, believe it or not, I do have a life outside the internet. I know. I stream 4 days a week. Part-time streamer. 2 days worth of Somalian fraud. Hopper, nice. But also, damn, it's a thing. It is a thing. Let me actually look up really quick who that leaker was. Words are hard. Can't even type tonight. Amit Segal. Yeah, it's from Hindustan Times. I kinda doubt that's legit. You watch it, it's up on Rumble's White House page. Well, we might take a look at it here. We'll be going for a little bit tonight. Don't have to be up too terribly early, although I have to get the one to school in the morning, so we'll see. Let me see here. It's on the White House's Rumble page. Let me see. I kind of want to talk about this really quick, though. It sounds like Israeli journalist Amit Segal publicly identified himself as the first reporter to break the story of a second missing American airman from the downed F-15 in Iran, directly acknowledging the leak that prompted President Donald Trump to threaten imprisonment for the source. Segal, a political commentator for Channel 12 and columnist... let me stop sharing that. Columnist for Yedioth Ahronoth confirmed on his Telegram channel that his outlet published the initial report about the weapons systems officer shot down over Iranian territory. Despite Trump's vow to jail the journalist who revealed the second crew member status, Segal stated he is unconcerned about prosecution and affirmed his intent to protect his sources. Okay, so I guess maybe they might go after, instead of the journalist, they might go after the source. Let's see what Trump made a statement. Let's see if he does anything about it. The journalist is known for his close ties to Israeli Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu, having been offered a ministerial position in 2022 before rejecting it to remain in journalism. While Trump blamed the leak for prompting Iran to offer a bounty for the pilot's capture, the airman was ultimately rescued, and it remains unclear how U.S. authorities could prosecute an Israeli citizen or compel an Israeli news outlet to reveal sources. Yeah, of course. Yeah, we're not gonna touch that one. So he's a fifth columnist, and yes, that's the source is the traitor they want. I guess the source would be the traitor, but the fact that the journalist reported it is a bit of a problem. I'm for freedom of the press, but that right there put that other pilot's life in danger, and that's a situation where no, you know what, you should have shut the fuck up and not reported it. How about that? That's one where you probably should not have reported that. You should have used discernment. You should have discretion. Discretion was needed. Yeah. National security isn't covered by the First Amendment, is it? I would think if it put somebody's life at risk, that would be a situation where, yeah, I would think, yeah, you probably should be. But it's an Israeli journalist, so nothing will happen. I'll be surprised if something does. But they're a little brother. They're a little brother, guys. No, not a fan. Not a fan of that. That's one where you work for the Department of War to cover it up, right? Maybe. Covered up tight. Oh, you had it right first. You had it right first. Yeah, I don't know. Let me check Rumble White House page. Oh, let's take a look at the reposts in the comments because I appreciate you guys. We have so far. Oh, look at that. We got Sanglant with a repost. Down 7232 with a repost. Frog Springs and Friends with a repost. Down 7232 with a comment, and Silva Sojourn with a repost. You guys are absolute chads in the chat, and chads and chadettes. Appreciate the heck out of you guys helping this channel grow. That's the goal anyways, to grow and spread information, entertainment, infotainment, guys. It's the name of the game here, and if I can help make a crap sandwich just a tad bit more palatable, I feel like I've done something important. Okay? I feel like it anyways. That's what the feels tell me. Let's check this. 13 hours ago. Oh my gosh, it was an hour and 31 minutes. What's up, Sertorius? Good to see ya. 1980s Desert 1 V20. Yeah, maybe. Let's take... I want to listen to this press conference. Hope you guys do too. If not, I understand. We might put it at a little bit faster. Depends on how quickly they're talking. If they're not talking at my speed or, half of Ben Shapiro's speed, then we're going to increase the speed a little bit. So we'll see how it sounds when we start. This was not part of the show, but 17 George 76 let me know that there was a press conference. I've been out of the loop because I've been working today, guys. I've been working. Work all day long. Oh, okay, so it started at right there. Walking in, gonna talk about some things, stuff and things.
Thank you very much.
Oh, that hair's getting white. Or is it just really, really blonde?
It's a great honor to be with you, and happy Easter. We had a great Easter. This is one of our better Easters, I think, in a lot of different ways. I can say militarily,
Shit, 17, George.
it's been one of the best. So, good afternoon. We have quite a bit to discuss. We'll go into pretty good detail. And we have the people that are most involved. We'll give you exactitude.
Fuck.
And we're here today to celebrate the success of one of the largest, most complex, most
Did he just say exactitude? I'm fairly sure it's a word. But just him, the way he said it. We're going to give you exactitude. That's right, it's a word. Don't question my words. I have the best words.
harrowing combat searches. I guess you would call it a search and rescue mission ever attempted by the military. Generally, when planes are knocked down in war, especially when you're fighting a strong group, an evil group, you can't really do this because
It is a word.
you send in 200 men to pick up one, and it's something that's
So, exactitude is the quality of being extremely accurate, precise, and careful, often implying meticulous attention to detail. Not gonna lie, that's not usually Trump. But hey, he promised exactitude. Okay?
usually not attempted as much as you want to attempt.
Watch
And
Pete's
bad
face.
things happen to that one or two. And in this case, we did two, and it might not have been attempted before, but we did. And we had great talent, but we got a little luck too, I would say. And we were helped by a lot of people, a lot of great people. And it was an honor to be involved with it. It's very historic. This is a rescue that's very historic. It'll go down in the books. Late Thursday night, an American F-15 fighter jet went down deep inside enemy territory in Iran while participating in Operation Epic Fury, where we're doing unbelievably well, well at a level that nobody's ever seen before. The entire country could be taken out in one night, and that night might be tomorrow night. Both members of the crew.
That's right. Apparently Tuesday is when everything's popping off. Apparently, I don't know. All right. Tell me if I'm completely off on this, but I kind of wish that this was done a little bit quicker. I wish that we were a little bit more rip the Band-Aid off approach to this, because I think the longer that things go, the more suffering there will be than if we just went ahead and went scorched earth, achieved all of our goals as quickly and as fiercely as possible, because that's what war is. War is ugly. War is disgusting. Nobody likes it, except the military-industrial complex. But, does it make sense that maybe if we should get it done as quickly as possible and then get out, and that way less suffering occurs? Because I don't want innocents to suffer, and if we're going to be taking out power plants and bridges and stuff like that, that means innocents are going to suffer. You take out power plants, the people that are like on ventilators and shit like that are going to die. Innocent people that had nothing to do with this. Strategic hits to power plants that are maybe keeping military operations in service. Okay. But in general, just broad sweeping power plants are going to be hit. No, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not. I get it. War's ugly, but I think why are we doing it this way? Why can't I'm not saying necessarily glass them. Okay? I'm not. I don't know. I don't know all the things. I'm just a guy in Southeast Missouri talking about stuff on the internet. But I don't know. Maybe I'm completely off in thinking that we should just go we should have gone a little bit harder from the start, knocked it all out. Yes, we got some of their leaders, but first of all, Muslims don't work like that, and tribal areas don't work like that. It's different. They're different than we are when it comes to military conflict. But I just wish I don't want our troops to die, and I don't want innocents to suffer needlessly.
Ejected from the aircraft and landed alive. On Iranian soil, I immediately was asked to make a decision. I ordered the U.S. Armed Forces to do whatever was necessary to bring our brave warriors back home.
Salty Separatists with a good point over there. The war is really over with 2/3 of the leadership gone. I don't know, though. With the leadership gone, you've got the IRGC that kind of comes in and, fills in. So it's military-led now. It says what this falls under is the last resort to get them to the table. I suppose you could be right. And then after this, if they don't come to the table, then just go. Then maybe this is the scorched earth. We've given them a little over a month of getting their stuff stomped in the dirt, and then we see what happens after this. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, salty zebra tits. I disagree. But that's the thing. We could have a difference of opinion on that. Because that's a lot of people that are going to die that are not have nothing to do with this. A lot of innocent civilians that are going to die from not having necessary medical equipment on, and hospitals and stuff like that. And I don't think that's a good. I don't like that. I'd rather it be a lot quicker, a lot more Band-Aid approach. That prolonging the suffering of the innocent's not something I'm a fan of. I understand your perspective, though. I do, and I value your input.
A risky decision because we could have ended up with 100 dead as opposed to 1 or 2. It's a hard decision to make. But in the United States military, we leave no American behind. We don't do it. Within hours, our armed forces deployed 21 military aircraft into hostile airspace, many flying at very low altitude, being shot by bullets. You bring rifles into play when you're going that low, but there are also certain advantages. And in broad daylight over Iran for 7 hours, at times facing very, very heavy enemy fire. We have a helicopter that's got a lot of bullets in it. It's amazing. We just realized how good those weapons are. Our machines are. Nobody has the equipment that we have, and nobody has the military that we have. Not even close. The most powerful military anywhere in the world by far.
Hexeth looks very uneasy. He's just like, ooh, I don't know. They're going to chain children to the power plants. They are not the same. Possible.
The flight crews and warfighters aboard those aircraft took extraordinary risks to rescue their fellow service members. This first wave of search and rescue forces successfully located the pilot of the F-15, and he was extracted from enemy territory by an HH-60 Jolly Green II helicopter. Fabulous machine as our warriors faced gunfire at very close range. It's amazing that when you look at the machinery, what happened, that nobody was even injured. Meanwhile, the second crew member, a weapons system officer, highly respected colonel, had landed a significant distance away from the pilot. When you're going at those speeds, even if you go out 2 or 3 seconds later, it's miles and miles away because you're going fast. He was injured quite badly and stranded in an area teeming with terrorists from the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps rough group, as well as besieged militia and local authorities. Many, on top of everything else, they told the communities actually within inside of Iran, the people of Iran, they were given a tremendous incentive to find this pilot. Despite the peril, the officer followed his training and climbed into the treacherous mountain terrain and started climbing toward a higher altitude, something they were trained to do in order to evade capture.
What's up, General Samuel
you want
Fields?
to always go as far away from the site of the shoot down. You want to go as far away because they all head right to that site. You want to be as far away as you can. And he was injured, and he was an amazing, amazing thing. He scaled cliff faces, bleeding rather profusely, treated his own wounds, and contacted American forces to transmit his location. They have a very sophisticated beeper-type apparatus that is on them at all times. And when they go out on these missions, they make sure they have lots of battery space, and they're in good shape. And this one worked really well, amazingly, saved his life. We immediately mobilized a massive operation to retrieve him from the mountain holdout, and he kept going higher and higher. The mountain kept getting rougher and rougher, and really very, very hard to find.
Thanks
The
for the
second
red pill
rescue
and the
mission
repost,
involved
Chops.
155 aircraft, including 4 bombers,
What's up, General
64
Samuel
fighters,
Fields?
48 refueling tankers, 13 rescue aircraft, and more. We were bringing them all over, and a lot of it was subterfuge. We wanted to have them think he was in a different location because they had a vast military force out there. Thousands of people were looking. So we wanted them to look in different areas. So we were scattered all over,
Appreciate
like
you,
we were
General
right on
Samuel
top of
Fields.
them. We had 7 different locations where they thought, and they were very confused. They said, well, wait a minute, they've got groups here, they've got groups there. It's an amazing thing. I was listening.
Oh, really quick, to my monthly subscribers, whether it be on Pilled, thedozerden.locals.com, or here on Rumble, thank you very much for your continued support. It means the world to me that you continue to subscribe, and those that are able to donate on a consistent basis freaking helps out. Those that keep watching, thank you for being here. Thank you for continuing to come back here into the Dozer Den and chill. Maybe we get a little bit ranty from time to time. It happens.
To these great people, these great generals. General Raisin Kane was amazing, and Pete Hegseth was amazing. But I listened to the whole thing. It was pretty amazing. So they had all these different sites where everybody thought he was located. We think we have him over there because they have 9 planes circling a little area that's 25 miles down the coast. So in a breathtaking show of skill and precision, lethality and force, America's military descended on the area, the real area, engaged the enemy, rescued the stranded officer, destroyed all threats, and exited Iranian territory while taking no casualties of any kind. The heroic F-15 weapons system officer had evaded capture on the ground in Iran for almost 48 hours. That's a long time when you're in tough shape and when you're bleeding. It's a long time. When we left, as you probably know, we had 2 large planes, pretty old planes. It carried a lot. We needed a lot more equipment going in than coming out, obviously, because going in, we needed to be able to scale mountains, and we had a lot of equipment. But the sand was sandy, wet sand, so we thought there may be a problem taking off because of the weight of the plane. And then we also had all the men jumping back onto the planes, and they got pretty well bogged down. And we had a contingency plan, which was unbelievable, where lighter, faster aircraft came in, and they took them out. We blew up the old planes. We blew them up to smithereens because we had equipment on the planes that frankly we'd like to take, but I don't think it was worthwhile spending another 4 hours there taking it off. So we didn't want anybody to have. We have the best equipment anywhere in the world. We didn't want anybody examining our anti-aircraft and other equipment. So these were large planes that were old and pretty old, and we blew them up. And we had faster, lighter planes come in, and they were able to land on the same.
Chops, I'm going to check that video out later about survival. Thanks for sharing that.
And we needed the bigger planes because we had so much equipment that we needed. We took 3 helicopters over there, which were very strongly used, and couldn't have lived without them. They did, and they performed unbelievably well. And if you'd see it, you wouldn't believe it. They came off the plane, and these guys had them. The rotors were off. They rebuilt these helicopters in less than 10 minutes, and that was one of the more amazing things. These are helicopters. Small, unbelievably powerful.
You know what? Salty Zippertich just came up with a freaking great point about the girls' school in Iran. What kind of girls' school do they? I mean, are they teaching them there, or are they teaching them like just Sharia law stuff? Like, I don't know. But that is an interesting contradiction there. Like with Islam, why do they have the girls at school? Why? I don't know.
But small
It could be just not our idea of school. They call it a school. It might be something completely different for the elementary school girls there. I don't know. I'm ignorant of how it functions there.
Very small, so he can get into certain areas. And they got them off the plane, and they rebuilt all 3 of them in a matter of less than 10 minutes. It's pretty amazing. What the genius of these people. Who would think that? You'd think it would take 5 days to build them. And in some companies, it would take 5 days, and they wouldn't do it well. But they served us well. As Commander-in-Chief, I never forget the extraordinary risk taken by the warriors that we sent.
Jesus! No! Singlet said sex ed. Damn, I hate myself some days. You know, that's a dark one. Holy shit. Whew, that's rough, Singlet.
Into battle, and the genius. I mean, think of it, having a contingency of 3 planes waiting because we think the sand is so bad that we probably won't be able to take off. And the planes really got bogged. This was not much of a runway. This was a farm, not a runway. It's a farm, but it did the trick. But to have a contingency as opposed to having to wait 2 days, can you imagine? Right in the middle, this was central.
So Chops is saying that the daughters of major military leaders kept separate schools for daughters and sons, keep them separate before marriage. Oh no. I did see that, S. Henson. Yeah, it was like a general or something. It was some of Khomeini's daughters? They were living a lavish lifestyle in L.A., doing all the things that American women do. Dressing like whores, being those IG gals. And Trump deported some high-up Iranian guy's daughter. Yeah, I think was it Khomeini's daughters? It was one of them. I can't remember, but I did see that in passing, S. Henson. Good point. Or good point there.
It was right, you would call it central casting if you were doing a movie for location. And probably the toughest area of Iran where we'd be sitting there. So these planes came in, those pilots came in so fast and so quick and got out of there. Everybody got aboard and just got 15-minute intervals. One load out, one load out, one load out. It happened. And we were watching and we said, that's amazing. And got out of there. Everybody got aboard and just got 15-minute intervals. One load out, one load out. Just got 15-minute intervals. One load out, one load out, one.
Oh shit, I broke it.
One load out. It happened. And we were watching and we said, that's amazing. In many ways, I was almost more impressed by the contingency that we had than the fact that, we would have had a runway or decent soil, but it was an amazing thing. But we thank God for every single one of them and the talent. The genius is not even talent, it's genius. It's the whole ball game, every one of them. Now, if you look at what we did with Maduro, we went into a military compound, massive, with thousands and thousands of soldiers, and within a matter of minutes, and he lived behind iron doors. There were steel doors, broke them down so quick.
We used the discombobulator. We used it quite well. I don't know why we haven't used the discombobulator yet. It's one of my favorite things to say. Discombobulator. You'll be so discombobulated, you won't even know what hit you. You won't even know. Just discombobulate Iran. Discombobulate all of them.
And within almost minutes, he was in the back of these planes. It was a similar group. Incredible. We have incredibly talented people. And if the time comes, we move heaven and earth to bring them home safely. We're going to bring our people home safely. I want to thank every member of the U.S. Armed Forces involved in these historic operations. They really were historic. It's just not something that's done. And you'd understand it. Not that they don't want to do it, but when you're going into areas, when you look at these helicopters, when you look at the amount of bullets and everything else that they took, when you go into these areas, you don't come out like we came out. God was watching us. Well, it was the Easter. We were in the Easter territory, I guess, but God was watching us. It's amazing. Because when you look at the machinery, they took damage. It tells you, first thing I said is, these are unbelievable machines, how they flew back and not even much of a problem. But these two extraordinary rescues, because it was two, and as you probably know, we didn't talk about the first one for an hour. Then somebody leaked something, which we'll hopefully find that leaker. We're looking very hard to find that leaker and talk about there's somebody missing. They basically said that we have one and there's somebody missing. Well, they didn't know there was somebody missing until this leaker gave the information. So whoever it was, we think we'll be able to find it out because we're going to go to the media company that released it and we're going to say, national security, give it up or go to jail. And we know who, and you know who we're talking about, because some things you can't do. Because when they did that, all of a sudden, the entire country of Iran knew that there was a pilot that was somewhere on their land that was fighting for his life. Yeah. And it also made it much more difficult for the pilots and for the people going in to search for him. All of a sudden, they know that there's somebody out there. They see all these planes coming in. It became a much more difficult operation because a leaker leaked that we have one, we've rescued one, but there's another one out there that we're trying to get. So actually, the country, Iran, put out a major notice, you all saw it, offering a very big award for anybody that captures the pilot. So in addition to a hostile, very talented, very good, very evil military, we had millions of people trying to get an award. So when you add that to it, but we have to find that leaker because that's a sick person. Probably didn't realize the extent of how bad it was. I can't imagine that the person did, but we're going to find out. It's national security. And the person that did the story will go to jail if he doesn't say. And that doesn't last long. And I think everybody would understand it. They put this mission at great risk.
So that Israeli journalist, Ahmedi, has stated that he's not going to give up his source. So we'll see if Trump's statement has any bite behind that bark. It was our little brother's guy. So let's see. Let's see if the Israeli journalist is going to be held accountable for putting an American soldier's life at risk there. The leaker, yeah, needs to be dealt with. And that journalist needs to answer for that. I agree with Trump on that one. That is not First Amendment when you're putting somebody's life at risk like that. And you're also Israeli, so the First Amendment doesn't apply to you, does it?
They put that man at great risk, and they put the hundreds of people that went in looking for him, because everyone now knows that we're going in. Over the past 37 days, America's armed forces have carried out more than 10,000 combat flights over Iran, unheard of, striking more than 13,000 targets. The F-15 we lost last week was the first manned aircraft downed by the enemy in this entire operation, with thousands and thousands of flights. They got lucky. It was a lucky hit. You know, eventually you get lucky. But we got lucky, too, because we got both of them back. But it's a record that is unparalleled in the history of military air operations. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. It's such an honor to be involved with it. We were up late at night, and then we were waiting for those contingent planes to come in, and we said, come on, let's go get in, because they're waiting out on this farm without a runway, with wet, crummy soil, sand, mostly sand, wet sand, and it eats planes alive. And we're waiting, and we're saying, I hope that one can land and take off. And they came in like magic, boom, 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 one after another. It was like genius. So impressed by that, because we were a little concerned. We said, boy, if they don't get in and get up fast, we're sitting in them. And that's called Iran Prime, right, General? That's where the whole bet is. And here we are sitting there waiting for a plane, but they came in so fast and so hard, and these guys knew exactly what to do. Let's go, come on, get in, let's go. Bwah. They came one right after another, not at the same time. Bwah. They don't want to come at the same time. They had to come right after each other. They didn't have any room. There was barely any room to land. Tiny little patch of very wet earth and sand.
Trump says they went, bwah. I don't need sound effects. I make my own sound effects. Bwah, bam, boom, pow. I got all kinds of sound effects. You don't even know. You don't know my sound effects games. You don't know. I've got a bunch. I've got a kazoo in my pocket. I can break it out. He said, wow.
So I'm so proud of the people that I have standing up here with me and many others at work. I mean, so many. Steve Woodcock's over here. He's doing fantastically. Jared Kushner. But the people that are here, the job they did.
What was that? What was that noise he made? He said, "Wah." I'll rewind it a little bit.
They came one right after another, not at the same time. They don't want to come at the same time. They had to come right after each other. They didn't have any room. There was barely any room to land. Tiny little patch of very wet earth and sand. So I'm so proud of the people that I have standing up here with me and many others at work. I mean, so many. Steve Woodcock's over here. He's doing fantastically. Jared Kushner. But the people that are here, the job they did is amazing. And I think I'm going to introduce the head of the CIA, and he.
Right, my timing was off. Said, "Wah." Oh man. Wow. we said WAP. Not like Cardi B's WAP. No. Whole different kind of WAP. You're gonna need a mop and a bucket for all the blood from our bombs.
As a man who he's central casting, okay?
Ah.
If we cast a movie, he's going to play the head of the CIA. He's one of the few. John Ratcliffe. He did a phenomenal job that night. He did something that I don't know if you want to talk about it. If you want, you can. I'm not sure you're supposed to. I'm not going to talk about it. But the CIA was very responsible for finding this little speck. It's like they used an expression on one of the shows. A general was talking about. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. Finding this pilot. And the CIA was unbelievable. And you may, if you can, you'll talk. It might be classified, in which case I'd have to put him in jail if he talks about it. And I don't want to put him in jail. He doesn't deserve that. So, John, do you want to say a few words?
Right, Trump invented sound effects. Yes. Macaroni in a pot. Where else do you have macaroni? I don't make macaroni in a pan. No, I use pots. Sometimes after it's done, you put it in a bowl, but if you're a bachelor, you might eat it right out of the pot. What's wrong? What is wrong with me?
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a privilege to be here with you today to share what we can about this exceptional mission and to recognize the ingenuity and bravery of those who executed it, as well as the leadership and resolve of the president who ordered it. One thing that has been clear to me in this role is that the flawless military operations that the Department of War is known for are hostage to flawless intelligence. We saw that in the skies over Iran in Operation Midnight Hammer last summer. We witnessed it in Venezuela during Operation Absolute Resolve. We've seen it against the cartels in the Western Hemisphere, and we're seeing it every day in Operation Epic Fury, including this mission to rescue an aviator buried deep behind enemy lines.
Is this Ratcliffe, CIA director? Yeah.
Because it is the unique tradition of the U.S. Armed Forces that we leave no man or woman behind, this was a no-fail mission. That was the spirit in which the president put us to work, and we were determined not to let him down or our airmen down. As an agency, the CIA possesses unique capabilities that only the president can deploy. Some of these capabilities fall under covert action authorities. And because covert means exactly that, I'm not going to be able to tell you everything that you want to know. At the president's direction, we deployed both human assets and exquisite technologies that no other intelligence service in the world possesses to a daunting challenge, comparable to hunting for a single grain of sand in the middle of a desert. This was also a race against the clock, as it was critical that we locate the downed aviator as quickly as possible, while at the same time keeping our enemies misdirected. For that reason, in addition to the human and technical assets deployed by the president to find our airmen, CIA executed a deception campaign to confuse the Iranians who were desperately hunting for our airmen. On Saturday morning, we achieved our primary objective by finding and providing confirmation that one of America's best and bravest was alive and concealed in a mountain crevice, still invisible to the enemy, but not to the CIA. That confirmation was relayed by Secretary Hexit to the president, and the operation quickly moved to the execution phase. Following the successful exfiltration on Saturday night, our intelligence reflects that the Iranians were embarrassed and ultimately humiliated by the success of this audacious rescue mission. When the president asked me to lead the CIA, he made it clear, get back to basics, no politics, no agendas, tackle the hardest problems, and execute the toughest missions. This president is about results, and now that's what his CIA is about too. The professionals at the agency and at the Department of War deserve immense credit for their flawless execution during this daring mission. Their skill, creativity, and courage are unmatched on the battlefield wherever they step. But none of that matters, and all of that is wasted without a president with the political courage to put them into action. Mr. President, I've had the privilege of seeing you act with political courage in the best interest of the United States up close on a daily basis, and I'm grateful that this successful mission has given the American people a window into that as well. The Secretary and Chairman will tell you that our service members' confidence is boosted by a Commander-in-Chief who has their back the same way they have yours. And I know that the confidence of CIA's officers is boosted by the knowledge that their work is informing a president who's not afraid to make the hardest decisions when the stakes are highest. And to the American people, your confidence should be boosted by knowing that the security of the nation is in the hands of a president who's willing to take on problems that have confounded both sides of the political aisle for nearly half a century. It is an honor to serve under a leader who just proved that you can believe him when he says, no matter what, we will leave no one behind. We will come for you. Thank you.
Yeah. Pete looks stressed.
Well, John, thank you for the collaboration with the CIA as well. Incredible and ongoing partnership.
John Rapp.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Americans, and especially the brave warriors in our armed forces, over this Easter weekend, the United States military has once again proved why we possess the greatest fighting force the world has ever known. In 2 extraordinary combat search and rescue operations deep inside enemy territory in Iran, our warriors executed missions of breathtaking skill, courage, and precision. When our warriors are unleashed, as this president has allowed them to be, they are unstoppable. When American airmen were down behind enemy lines, our forces and our president did not hesitate. Special operators supported by elite air crews and intelligence professionals moved swiftly and decisively into treacherous mountain terrain under the constant threat of Iranian forces closing in. Ultimately, it was an impotent Iranian threat. And today, as the CIA director mentioned, Iran's military, and we know this, is embarrassed and humiliated, and they should be. Now, these are not routine operations. They were high-risk, high-stakes missions conducted in the heart of enemy territory. This was not just barely into Iran. This was deep into Iran, involving coordinated strikes to suppress threats, deception tactics to protect our teams, and full synchronization across air, ground, and special operation. The Iranians are still asking themselves right now, how did the Americans do this? One downed airman evaded capture for more than a day, scaling rugged ridges while hunted by the enemy. When he was finally able to activate his emergency transponder, his first message was simple, and it was powerful. He sent a message: God is good. In that moment of isolation and danger, his faith and fighting spirit shone through. You see, shot down on a Friday, Good Friday, hidden in a cave, a crevice, all of Saturday, and rescued on Sunday. Flown out of Iran as the sun was rising on Easter Sunday. A pilot reborn, all home and accounted for, a nation rejoicing. God is good. Despite incoming fire and unforgiving conditions, our troops brought every American home. No American lives were lost. We leave no man behind, and that is not luck. It's the result of unmatched training, superior technology, an unbreakable warrior ethos, and sheer American grit. Our special operators, pilots, and support crews performed with near perfection under fire, and they were lethal. Just ask any Iranian soldier who dared attempt to get anywhere near that pilot before or during that mission. Death from above. Our troops turned a potential tragedy into a resounding demonstration of American resolve and capability. That's what excellence in uniform looks like. But make no mistake about it. None of this would have been possible without the courageous leadership and ironclad determination of President Donald J. Trump. From the moment our airmen went down, President Trump made it clear we will leave no one behind. The first mission, the first of 2, was an audacious daylight thunder run right up the middle. It was authorized in less than 2 hours from that pilot going down when we knew where he was. And it was authorized in the middle of the night, because anybody that's worked for this man knows he's up in the middle of the night. Authorized immediately, without hesitation, audaciously. The second mission, as soon as we knew where that pilot was, and John was certainly helpful in that, also executed immediately. You know, I looked up at my screen when the final mission was complete inside our SCIF, our secure facility. And we have a running VTC, a running coordination cell. And the top of it read 45 hours and 56 minutes. For 45 hours and 56 minutes, we held that call open for coordination. From the moment our pilots went down, our mission was unblinking. The call never dropped, the meeting never stopped, the planning never ceased. The president demanded rapid, decisive action. He backed our military with the full weight of his resolve, refusing to let enemy propaganda or tactical setbacks deter us. His leadership ensured that every lethal and non-lethal resource was brought to bear, that our forces
Thanks for the
had
repost,
authorities
Laura Blades.
and the support
Appreciate
they
you.
needed to succeed. When the president says he has the backs of our warfighters, he means it. And it means a great deal, and it's a big difference on the battlefield. President Trump understands that peace through strength is not a slogan. It is a doctrine that saves American lives. His unwavering commitment to rebuilding our military and restoring the warrior spirit has paid dividends in missions just like this one. Under his command, America projects power with confidence and brings our people home with victory. And that continues today, by the way. Per the president's direction, today will be the largest volume of strikes since day one of this operation. Tomorrow, even more than today. And then Iran has a choice. Choose wisely, because this president does not play around. You can ask Soleimani, you can ask Maduro, you can ask Khomeini. To those heroes who planned and executed these rescues, your nation stands in awe. I stand in awe. The chairman stands in awe. We all stand in awe of your professionalism and bravery. We serve for you. You embody the very best of America. To the rescued airmen and their families, welcome home. Your courage and endurance, the quiet declaration of faith amid the storm, inspires us all. God is good every day. And to our adversaries watching from Tehran, let this be a clear message. The United States military will go anywhere at any time to protect our own and complete the mission. We execute with precision. We control the skies. You see, we flew for 7 hours in daylight over Iran to get the first pilot. And we flew 7 hours in the middle of the night to get the second. And Iran did nothing about it. We fight with honor. And under President Trump's leadership, we win. So God bless our troops. God bless President Trump. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. A note before I start, I know many of you want specific details in these briefings. We will share what we can, but I will retain what I must in the event that we have to go do this again sometime. And I cannot stress the importance, as the President said, around operational security. The Secretary and I will do a more detailed briefing tomorrow morning, and we look forward to sharing the details that we can. On Thursday, 2 April at 10:10 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:40 in the morning, local Iran time, the Joint Personnel Recovery Center, which handles the Central Command area of responsibility, declared an isolated personnel recovery event for a U.S. Air Force F-15E strike eagle, call sign Dude 44, which was down in hostile Iranian territory. The pilot and weapons system officer had both safely ejected and were isolated behind enemy lines. Following confirmation of active rescue beacons and on the direction of the Secretary and by order of the President, a rescue operation was launched with the stated purpose of bringing both Americans home safely. As the Secretary said, several hours later on the morning, after positively locating a front seater, call sign Dude 44 Alpha, and aware of an aggressive ongoing search by the enemy, a U.S. Central Command plan was approved by the Secretary and the President. Shortly thereafter, a U.S. Air Force Combat Search and Rescue Task Force, comprised of A-10 Warthogs in their Sandy role, and I'll describe what that is in a minute, HC-130 Combat King 2s, HH-60 Jolly Green 2 helicopters, and Air Force Special Warfare Airmen, a package comprised of combat rescue officers and pararescueman operators, audaciously penetrated enemy territory in broad daylight to find, fix, and recover Dude 44 Alpha from behind enemy lines. This was an incredibly dangerous mission, an incredibly dangerous undertaking, but a filled promise made to every American warfighter that you will not be left behind. We will always come find you, and we will always bring you home. Over the next hours, the Search and Rescue Task Force crossed the beach, entered into Iranian airspace, protected by a fighter strike package, and moved into the objective area, all under fire. En route, as some of you have seen on social media, the helicopters took gas off the C-130s and pressed onward and forward up into the objective area. While this was ongoing and out in front of them, the Sandy flight of A-10s and other remotely piloted aircraft, drones, and other tactical aircraft were violently suppressing and engaging the enemy in a close-in gunfight to keep them away from the front seater and allow the pickup force to get into the objective area.
It's going to be a
During
hell of
this
a movie.
engagement, one of the Sandy aircraft, the one primarily responsible for communicating with the downed pilot, was hit by enemy fire. This pilot continued to fight, continued the mission, and then upon exit, flew his aircraft into another country and determined that the airplane was not landable. This was one of our A-10 Sandy aircraft. The pilot then made the decision to eject over friendly territory and was quickly and safely recovered and is doing fine. After picking up Dude 44 Alpha, the HH-60 Jolly Green fight was engaged by every single person in Iran who had a small arms weapon. And one of the aircraft, the trailing aircraft, took several hits. The crew sustained minor injury, and they are going to be fine. A note for those of you that do not know what a Sandy does. Named after the flight call sign that did this very mission in Vietnam, flying A-1 Sky Raiders and A-7 Corsairs. A Sandy has one mission: get to the survivor, bring the rescue force forward, and put themselves between that survivor on the ground and the enemy. They are committed to this. This is what they live for, and this is what they've trained for over many, many years. The A-10 force and the rescue force did a fantastic job rescuing Dude 44 Alpha. He was recovered Friday afternoon. As I said, and the nation needs to know this, this was an incredibly brave and courageous mission, and a testament to the courage, skill, and tenacity of the joint force and our leaders. And especially a daylight option, having the guts to try, means so much to so many. Meanwhile, the backseater, as the President and the Secretary have said, had continued to work and survive. Through the hours of daylight, Dude 44 Bravo, the backseater, evaded. Using every means available, the efforts of the United States military, the Central Intelligence Agency, and others were attempting to find and locate with precision Dude 44 Bravo, the backseater. A note on the backseater and the front seater. The single most important contributor to a successful rescue operation is the spirit of attack inside the heart of that downed aviator. Their will to survive, their will to evade, their will to recover is everything. In this case, the backseater's absolute commitment to surviving made much of our efforts possible. On Saturday, 4 April, after establishing positive communications with the backseater, we learned, as the President said, that he was injured and actively evading enemy forces. And thanks to our interagency partners, we were able to get eyes on his location and positively ID him. Throughout this entire time, the enemy force continued to search for 44 Bravo, and the joint force continued to strike them over and over and over again. fighting off marginal weather in Iran and the enemy's search for a second time on Saturday at the recommendation of the CENTCOM commander and
What's marginal weather? Raining? Storms? A little bit sandy?
the approval of the Secretary and the President, we launched a rescue task force to recover Dude 44 Bravo. Again, this came to the President and the Secretary for approval, this time with a much larger force package based on the time that the enemy had to prepare to find 44 Bravo. Again, this force was protected by A-10 Warthogs using the Sandy call sign. And this force had one single mission: do everything they can to bring an American home. This meant having a plan, being prepared to execute that plan, and more importantly, being prepared for multiple simultaneous contingencies.
Sandstorm.
And because of this force's professionalism, grit, and determination, fight off two enemies at the same time: the enemy searching for 44 Bravo and contingencies, which anyone who has done these types of missions knows we run into every single time. The force fought off both of those enemies incredibly well. During the period of darkness on Saturday, and as the Secretary said, into Easter Sunday and into the daylight, the force fought its way in and rescued Dude 44 Bravo. They were protected overhead by an air armada, including tactical drones, strike aircraft, and others. The force fought through multiple simultaneous contingencies, something no other nation, no other military can do, and safely returned Dude 44 Bravo, the backseater, home, and all other Americans home as well. At midnight 12 local Eastern time, Easter Sunday, more than 50 hours after the start of this operation, the Joint Personnel Recovery Center declared Dude 44 Bravo, both the front and backseater, returned to friendly territory. The courage demonstrated by both the pilot and the weapons system officer while isolated and them invading the enemy cannot be overstated. Their grit and warfighting tenacity is a direct result of the absolute trust they have in our rescue forces, their training, and their will to survive and return. They always knew that we would be ordered to go get them, and they always knew that we would be coming to get them. These two operations reflect our nation's most sacred obligation to our military service members. We leave no one behind, bless you. It also perfectly captures the first truth of our special operations forces, that people are more important than hardware. That is the standard we live by, and the rescue forces that execute these missions operate under a clear motto: these things we do that others may live. Their actions were a direct embodiment of that commitment to others, and I could not be more proud of each and every one of them today. As the Secretary said to our enemies, this operation serves as a clear reminder of the capability and will of America's joint force. The United States of America will recover our warfighters anywhere in the world, under any conditions, when we want to. We will always bring overwhelming skill and firepower. To every member of the joint force, our interagency partners, the leadership at CENTCOM, and our leaders at the department and above, thank you. I'm proud of each and every one of you, and thankful to our deployed forces and their families. And lastly, and most importantly, the Dude 44, welcome home. Job well done. Thank you.
Pretty amazing, pretty amazing. And these two gentlemen have been, from day one, they've been perfecto. You know, I got to know General Kane in my first term because he was able to take out ISIS in 4 weeks instead of the 4-year projection that was given to me by other much lesser generals. I said, you know, if I ever do this again, that's going to be the head of my Joint Chiefs of Staff. And we worked it that way, didn't we? It's amazing. He took out ISIS. We defeated ISIS in 4 weeks. I was told it would take 4 years. I flew to Iraq to find out with the greatest equipment in the world, why would it take 4 years?
Agreed,
And he told me, sir, it won't. It'll take 4 weeks and you'll have time left over.
At least
And
they
that's
found his
exactly what happened.
boxers.
So
Yes.
he's great. And Pete, all I can say is that he was treated very unfairly. And now those same people that treated him unfairly, that fought against him, they called me up saying, what a great choice he was. I said, well, what happened during his nomination? What happened to you? I'm telling you, it's people that were not for him, senators, friends of mine. Sir, I don't think you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Now they're calling me up. What a choice. These two guys are fantastic. And John Ratcliffe was incredible.
Salty zipper tits. Someone earlier asked if I was drunk. It was 17 George 76, I believe, on Build. Gotta say thank you. You reminded me. I got alcohol. Well, there you go.
It was actually their genius
Enjoy
that
responsibly,
called us
sir.
from, he was 40 miles away. And he said, you know, we're seeing something moving up in the mountain. This is at night. And they kept the camera on him for 45 minutes. He wasn't moving. And they said, you know, probably wrong, but we're seeing something moving. This is a vast mountain, vast, thick, with bushes, trees. He said, we see something moving 40 miles away. It was
Quite thick.
the head of a human being. I'm telling you, it's moving. And then all of a sudden, 45 minutes later, he moved a lot. Stood up, and they said, we have him. And that was really the beginning of something incredible. We had an idea where he was, but not specifically. That's a big mountain. So I want to thank the CIA, too. I don't think they get enough credit for the great job they've done. Yes, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for this great opportunity. Country, it has super army. You make a difference, Mr. President. Thank you for your greatest leadership.
Thank you.
I have 2 quick questions, Mr. President. What was your reaction when you learned that Kurdistan region had resumed exporting oil to the international market with your support as United States of America?
Well, I expected that. We've gotten along with the Kurds for a long time, so I expected that.
Another question, what would be your reaction if the Iranian people rise up against their regime during a ceasefire, Mr. President?
Well, they should do it, but again, the consequences are great. I mean, they were told if you protest, you will be shot immediately. You saw what happened to the young wrestler. He was a great champion, by the way. He was a great wrestler, one of the top in the world. And he and his two friends were hung.
Oh.
And all they did was say a little bit about liberty. They wanted liberty, and they were violently executed. But the number is up to probably 45,000 people were killed. So, when somebody stays in a house, when they know if they walk out of the house to protest, they'll be immediately shot and killed. And they issued that. That was publicly issued. It's not a secret. That's why so many people say, oh, well, why are you doing this way? We can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon. We got regime change. We do. We're dealing with a much different regime than before. We're dealing with different people. They're smarter. I think they're sharper and far less radical. We have regime change, but we didn't do this for regime change. We did it for the fact, and my view is.
I thought we took out all their their nuclear capabilities with Midnight Hammer. What the fuck happened to that? I will say, there's a bit of a disconnect there, guys. Bit of a disconnect.
Very simple. I saw somebody said, oh, he doesn't have a plan. I have the best plan of all, but I'm not going to tell you what my plan is. They want me to say, here's my plan. We're going to attack at 9:47 in the morning, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to. And if you don't do that, they say, I have a plan. These people know what the plan is. Everybody here knows what the plan is. But it's very unfair to say, because I don't mind being insulted. I've been insulted for many years by the fake news, but you can't. It's so bad for the people that are so. You just saw two great, and John Ratcliffe, three unbelievable people. They have a plan. Every single thing has been thought out by all of us. But I can't reveal the plan to the media. So, but we're just thrilled by the success of this operation. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. You said Iranians would be mad if you stopped these attacks, but why would they want you to blow up their infrastructure, to cut off their power? Wouldn't that be punishing Iranians for the actions of the regime?
They would be willing to, and it's suffering. They would be willing to suffer that in order to have freedom. The Iranians have, and we've had numerous intercepts. Please keep bombing. Bombs that are dropping near their homes. Please keep bombing.
That's a good point, 17 George. That missile did have range. It says they launched a rocket that could reach anywhere in England from Iran. And that's what happened. That did happen. Did that happen after we started the attack, though? Or did they test that and then we kind of moved? Because it was the ballistic missiles is the biggest thing. When you said the nuke thing, I'm like, that's an old line. The ballistic missiles is the line that they moved to. So.
Do it. These are people that are living where the bombs are exploding. And when we leave and we're not hitting those areas, they're saying, please come back, come back, come back. These are the people. I don't know what they do. All I can tell you is they want freedom. They have lived in a world that you know nothing about. It's a violent, horrible world where if you protest, you are shot. Remember the great woman protest where they had 400,000, 500,000 women, and they were all enthused and they were going to protest, and everybody said, oh, the regime's going to.
I can see lefties going, what about Alex Preddy and that dyke lady?
To come to an end, and then all of a sudden,
Renee Good, they were protesting and you shot him.
Boom.
And Preddy, that was, like I said, that was a clusterfuck. Renee Good, literally, she absolutely justified shoot. Not even, no nuance at all, no gray area. That was justified as hell. The Preddy one just sucked. It's like, guy was an idiot. Am I happy he's dead? No. And I think it was just a Final Destination style clusterfuck.
Boom. 5, 6 different areas. A woman would go down right between the eyes. They had snipers. They had 5 snipers. That's all it took. And those 400,000 or 500,000 women said, oh my God, what's that? Oh, look over there. What's that? A woman shot right between the eyes. And after 5 or 6 of them go down, then you start hearing the purr through the vast number of people. And then they said, oh my God, who would do that? And they're incredible people. But they've lived so horribly. They've lived so horribly. Iran was a great country if you go back 25 years ago or so. The Persian people, they're incredible, smart, brilliant, actually. And I know so many. I know coming from New York, originally, I know so many people from Iran. They're incredible people, incredible energy, and very, very brilliant people. But when you're standing in a group and protesting and you have a woman in the
it looks like, if you look back on the thing with Preddy, it looks like it was a negligent discharge that caused everybody to start firing. So it's a lawful but awful situation. Yeah, the guy was a garbage human being. He honestly could have been met with deadly force in a previous encounter with law enforcement. That encounter, I wouldn't say justified. Like, if they would have known it was a negligent discharge and still fired, that would have been a problem. They didn't know it was just a negligent discharge. The gun went off as it was getting drawn out, and then that's when everybody fired. And that's a situation where, yes, justifiably, they thought he was firing on them, so they fired. Turns out that wasn't the case. He wasn't firing on them. It was like a negligent discharge from like a SIG, wasn't it? It's been a few months since it happened, so I'm pretty sure I'm remembering that correctly. Yeah.
Remember the Great Woman March? Everybody was like, oh, this is the end of the country. And then snipers selectively picked. Every single one was shot right between the eyes from a long distance. They were on top of buildings. Nobody even knew where they were. Where they coming from? This wasn't like a machine gun, which is also very bad. They've done that too. They did that recently. This was snipers sitting on the top of buildings, aiming and hitting women. And when they see people go down, and all of a sudden there's a riot in the reverse direction, and they never came out again. And a lot of the news doesn't talk about that. They talk about, oh, women's rights. You want to see women's rights? You're not going to see it there. It's amazing when I see some of the stupid people like, AOC plus 3, all that group. They talk about, oh, freedom for Iran. They don't tell you the real facts. Women, men, gays. How about gays for Iran? They kill the gays. They throw them off buildings. So I wonder what's going on. I can only say this. They want us to keep bombing, even if it jeopardizes, because their life is in much greater danger. They want freedom for Iran, but it's very hard for them to protest. I actually tell them, I said, don't go out. I fully understand. Nobody in this room would go out. I don't think there's any, because frankly, it's not a question of bravery. We're all brave, right? You're brave, I'm brave, we're all brave. But we're also intelligent. If you have people shooting at you, expert shots with the best rifles you can get, and hitting you right between the eyes every single time, and you're looking here and you're seeing and you're looking here.
Yeah, it looked like the
You're
guy
out
in
of
the
there. I don't
badge
care
is
who it
bad.
is. Please.
Mark Mayer, Fox News.
I know that.
Oh, thank you.
Go ahead.
America's watching. No, can we go back to the weekend? First off, was everyone on board with the operation, or were there people that were trying to talk you out of going through with the operation this weekend?
Not everybody was on board.
Somebody else within?
No, there was military people, very professional, that preferred not doing it. These two were totally on board, which was very important. They weren't. It would have had a little difficulty. But no, there were military people that said, you just don't do this. You don't go into the heart of a very powerful military. This is, hey, you have countries and countries. You have some countries where military is not their strong suit. This whole thing is militarized like nobody's ever seen before. Half the people are wearing uniforms. And we had people within the military. Usually it's not done. That's one of the reasons. I was surprised. Somebody said it's the only time it's ever been done. I said, that's not possible. But it is possible, because you're going into hundreds of thousands of soldiers along the path. I mean, look at some of the helicopters, how they got hit. So, yeah, there were people within the military that said it's a wise. And don't forget, how many men did you send altogether, approximately, to the operation?
I'd love to keep that a secret.
Okay, well, but I will tell you the number. I'll keep it a secret, but it was hundreds and hundreds. How many men did you send altogether, approximately, to the operation?
I'd love to keep that a secret.
Okay, well,
He said, I'd like to keep that a secret. Trump's giving a little bit much here. A little bit much. Maybe reel it in. He's working the crowd right now. Be careful. He said, I'd like to keep that a secret. Harry Cho says, I'm always right. What if you're
but I will tell you the number. I'll keep it a secret, but it was hundreds and hundreds of these people. That's pretty good.
Harry Cho avoids left turns, always taking right turns. Harry Cho, I did respond to your DM on X, the chat there.
Is he central casting? But hundreds of people went into this journey. Hundreds of people could have been killed. Forget about the equipment. A lot of equipment. Nobody.
I'm glad we got our guys
Hundreds
back.
of people could have been killed. So we had people.
It's going to be an epic movie whenever they. Holy shit, Harry Toe, you son of a bitch! Thank you very much for that, dude. Harry Toe coming in, absolute Chad in the chat, gifting 5 subs, showering the chat with his love, spraying you guys with his love. Look at that, Salty Zipper Tits, Laura Blades, Frog Springs, Hopper 433, all gifted subs, rash to all, spreading the rash, guys. It's a good day when you spread that rash around, getting that chat a nice, beautiful MAGA red. That's what we're talking about. And honestly, it gets us halfway to Fancy Haggle on a Monday evening. My goodness gracious. Makes me want to play. We don't usually do this on the weekdays, but it makes me want to play one of my favorite clips.
See Jews in space!
We're Jews out in space. We're zooming along, protecting the Hebrew race. We're Jews out in space. If trouble appears, we'll put it right back in its place. When Goyim attack us, we'll give them a smack, we'll slap them right back in the face.
And now, you all that were lucky enough to be gifted a sub here on Rumble will have access to a plethora of wondrous, stupendous, fantabulous emotes. You don't have to worry about being locked out of the premium content that I churn out each month. Got to do 5 hours to be in the creator program. And you don't have to worry about ads on this channel now. That's right. That's right. Thank you so much, Harry-Toe. Appreciate you, bud. Back to the Donald.
That were within the military that said this is not a wise, and I understood that, but I decided to do it.
Was there a point that that you were thinking there's too much on the line, and somebody was saying maybe we abort this now and wait? I mean, given the resource like the general said, it seeed like there was so much on the line here. You must have been thinking this could have completely.
And Chops ITMC gifting the can. That's a $2 donation just to further the alcohol goal. Well. I don't usually drink on weekdays, but I do have the hat goal on weekdays. So if we hit $50 worth of donations, I'll put on one of the fancy hats. If we hit 75, I put on the Macho Man Randy Savage shades. Oh yeah! And if we hit 100, I might put on the Bucky outfit. I don't know. It's a Monday. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But thank you so much for that $2 donation, guys. $2 donation over there. It's a can on Pilled. If it was here on Rumble, oh my gosh, would you scroll down for me? Stop going so slow. I'm using Canvas Beta, guys. If it was here on Rumble, it would be green. We have a sound to smash that like button, guys. Hulk said so. And you gotta listen to Hulk or he'll get angrier. Because he's always angry.
So the first one, which was in many ways as dangerous as the second, I guess it gets, because we're flying over daylight. You know, we're the best at the world at night. We have goggles that nobody, we have goggles. I've tried them. Unbelievable. I see better with the goggles at night than I see without them during daylight. I mean, daylight today, we have a beautiful day. You see just as well.
I absolutely love it when this man starts just riffing. He's like, you wouldn't believe these goggles. They're some of the best goggles. They have really cool colors and lights and bells and whistles. They're the best goggles. I see better with them than anything else. You don't need glasses. You don't need LASIK. Get some of these goggles. I'm telling you, every American should have these goggles. That's a new program. An EO. Goggle time. Laura Blades coming in with a slap of that peach. Every now and then you gotta slap that peach. Sometimes you make them count just to drive that point home.
With goggles. In many ways, it's enhanced. So we have the best in the world. So it's much safer for us to do it at night. Whereas other people, no other country has that capability. They don't have that particular piece of equipment like we do. But when I was told flying and in daylight, I think we flew 7 hours over Iran, and that's a long time, over unbelievably hostile territory where they have nothing but weapons. We took out their anti-aircraft, which is great. We took out their radar, which is great. We took out a lot, but they still have, what hit this one was a handheld shoulder missile, heat-seeking missile. So it's not like, they're totally whatever. But they had probably a little luck because you got to get lucky. But they shot it, and it got sucked in right by the engine. But these guys were out of there. They were great. The timing was great. But no, I was told that this is a very dangerous mission. I understand. They didn't say it's a foolish mission. They said, we're going to be sacrificing hundreds of people do this. You have tankers that are flying over this area so that because the flight was so long, they had to refuel. It's a very dangerous mission. I just felt it was worth it. If you would have told me that we would have been successful, gotten both, and nobody was even essentially injured, I would have said that would be impossible. Yeah,
Mr. President, thank you very much.
Thank
you,
sir. Welcome back.
Okay.
Given that you are now dealing, you say, with a more reasonable, less extreme leadership in Iran, what does that mean for the protesters, for the human rights movement in that country after this conflict?
Well,
What's your
positive. Yeah, if they assume control, if we do something and they assume control, I think it's very positive, a big step. I don't think you'd see the radicalization that you have seen in the last. Look what happened. I mean, women are being executed because they're not properly clothed, they say. They're not properly clothed, and they execute the women. They shoot them right on the street. No, you have a much different group of people. Now, I'm not saying we are dealing with them. Essentially, they have till 8 o'clock tomorrow night, Eastern time. Ooh. We are dealing with them. I think it's going well. Mr. Witkoff is here, and JD's involved in the dealing. Mr. Witkoff is.
So we are going to be probably covering a lot of what happens tomorrow on the show tomorrow night. This apparently tomorrow is going to be quite active. If it's active enough, by the time I get home, I might start a stream a little early. I don't know because the kids are going to be up, but maybe I might start a little bit early and then maybe have some live footage. If there's strikes going on in the evening, I might start the stream a little bit early. I'll let you guys know if you want. Don't forget to hit the bell for notifications on Rumble. I usually give updates on X, and check on the Discord community as well. An invite link to the Discord is in the description for the show. I'll try to @ everybody if I go early. That's just a thought that I just popped up with, so no, for sure going early. It just depends on what's going on at the time, so we'll see.
Sitting right here, and I think it's going fine, but we'll have to see. You have to understand, we've been dealing with these people for 47 years. I'm standing here with a much more powerful Iran as of a month ago, not anymore. Right now, they are decapitated. But I'm standing here a month ago with a much more powerful Iran than it was at any point during 47 years. This should have been handled by 7 presidents, a lot of presidents. And those presidents are saying now, everyone.
And we might see some live footage of strikes, though. If there's some live footage of some strikes going on, that might be something I'll be thinking about checking in on that. And I'll try to keep my eyes open and my ear to the ground on that one.
One of them to their friends, we should have done this a long time ago. So it's not something I like doing. It's very dangerous, and we're getting them at the height of their strength. If I didn't terminate the Barack Hussein Obama Iran nuclear deal, they would have had don't forget, that was a path to a nuclear weapon. Remember this. He chose Iran over Israel, pure and simple. How Israel can vote for a Democrat is if you're Jewish in New York City or any place else in this country, and how you can vote for a Democrat is unbelievable, because he chose Iran, a very hostile Iran. Remember when he filled up a 757 with cash, billions of dollars of cash, and he sent it over to them. Then they gave them tens of billions of dollars. He chose Iran over Israel. And really, I
thought I saw Matt Morse with some live footage about a week or two ago. I could have sworn I saw Matt Morse with some live footage. Or that might have been footage of what was going on in Israel, strikes in Israel. I don't know.
Arab world, if you look, because, the other, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, I mean, you take a look. I mean, I can add Kuwait and I can add Bahrain, and you can add others. He chose such an unlikely candidate. Nobody could believe it. Frankly, if you're going to choose between Iraq and Iran, he should have befriended Iraq. He went in the exact opposite direction of all thinking. And he made a terrible mistake. But that was a road to a nuclear weapon. And when I terminated that, everyone said, oh, he terminated it. It was one of the best things we ever did because he had a road to a nuclear weapon. And
that's what I was thinking.
It was a very short-term deal. Countries don't do 10-year deals. Countries do hundreds of years. You don't do a 10-year deal. For a country, you need this.
Harry Joe, I have my final butthole doctor visit on Wednesday and used a vacation day. I'll be there tomorrow. Well, there you go. Final butthole doctor visit. Good to hear, Harry Toe. Good to hear. I was sharing your X profile, mad drawing skills, your amazing drawing skills, and I shared that with some of my family on Easter. They got a kick out of that. It says I'm just a guy with poor drawing skills. Is that what it says? Something like that on X.
This isn't you're a landlord. You're renting a store on a certain street, and you give somebody a 5-year or 10-year lease. This is a country. It was a short-term deal. It was ready to expire. I terminated it before it expired. It took a lot of heat, and it was one of the best things I ever did because he would have had a nuclear weapon. Then he would have had another nuclear weapon, had those beautiful B-2 bombers not gone in 8 months ago, and obliterated that site. And by the way, the word is obliteration. CNN said, well, maybe it wasn't complete. It was so complete that they still haven't been able to get it. It was obliteration. But if we didn't hit them, that was a courageous decision, too, because we had all those planes flying in at night with very little cover, unbelievable stealth planes, and they were able to do their job. If we didn't do that, Iran would have had a nuclear weapon at a high level, either one of those two instances. And if they did, in my opinion, I told this to Bibi Netanyahu.
Did those stealth bombers that in Midnight Hammer, did they come out of Missouri? I think they might have. Yeah, I think they came out of the southwest Missouri, if I'm not mistaken.
Yesterday, Israel would have been extinguished. Large portions of the Middle East would have been extinguished, whether it's Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, or others. And you saw that with thousands of missiles raining down upon them. They didn't think they were going to be hit. They thought they'd be watching us fight. And all of a sudden, UAE got hit by 1,500 missiles. He would have taken them out also. And they were powerful. If I didn't come along and terminate the Obama deal, which was terrible, the Iran nuclear deal was a road to a nuclear weapon, a big one, unlimited, legally. I terminated it
Pallets
without
of cash.
even much thought. It was so easy. I terminated that. And then the B-2 bombers. And I did one other thing. I had killed Qasem Soleimani, who was an evil genius. And the reason I did it, I heard he was going to knock out 5 of our military bases. And had he lived, I believe we would be fighting perhaps a different Iran right now because he's never been replaced, And I did one other, but this one was not picked up. Osama bin Laden. If you read my book, I said you got to take them out 1 year before the World Trade Center came down. So I wish you'd read the book. But you, as a president, to be a good president, I believe you have to have good instincts. And a lot of this is instinct. Yeah, please.
Thank you so much for taking my question. Mr. President, last week you suggested that Europe should take a lead on reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Has circumstances changed now that you're issuing a direct 48-hour ultimatum? And secondly, would a new
We could just keep her on the screen for a little bit longer. Yep. Good for her.
new ceasefire include Israel, or would it just be between Iran
I can't
and
talk about ceasefire, but I can tell you that we have a active, willing participant on the other side. They would like to be able to make a deal. I can't say any more than that.
If Israel would quit trying to bomb the dang negotiators. We had some Pakistani negotiators that Israel was like trying to attack. It's like, would you calm the fuck down? If we're trying to negotiate, maybe don't bomb the people we're trying to negotiate with. But anyways.
Excuse me. Thank you, Mr. President.
Who are you with?
My name is Diakoud. I'm with the largest Kurdish media outlet, Huda Media Network. It's based in Iran. Mr. President, you said before that you don't want the Kurdish forces to enter Iran and deharm it. Do you still want them to stay away? Or what role do you expect them to play now?
I'd rather have them stay away. I'd rather have them stay away because I think they bring with them some problems and some difficulties. And I don't think they bring death. I mean, to themselves. But I'd rather have them stay away.
He just said, keep the Kurds out. They're going to hurt themselves. I don't want them to get hurt. I appreciate your gusto. Let me tell you something, Kurdies, you Kurdistanis, the Kurds. I like cheese curds. Cheese curds are great. These Kurds, I'm not going to lie. Just to be honest, I appreciate your gumption. But you're going to hurt yourself. I don't want you to hurt yourself. I want my cheese curds to be protected. Good, tasty cheese curds. You don't want them to spoil. You don't want to send those curds in. No. He's such a it was like a polite, it was like a fatherly diss. It's like, sit down, buddy. You're going to hurt yourself. I thank you, but your help's not needed, okay?
Thank you, Mr. President, for the question. Deliberate attacks on civilian infrastructure violate the Geneva Conventions and international law.
Who are you with?
I'm with the New York Times. Zolan from the New York Times. Are you
failing?
Are you concerned?
Circulation way down at the New York Times.
Are you concerned that your threat to bomb power plants and bridges amount to war crimes?
No. I hope I don't have to do it. But again, I just said 47 years they've been negotiating with these people. They're great negotiators, and because they're not going to have a nuclear weapon.
The cheese curds.
And if somebody that takes my place someday is weak and ineffective, which possibly that will happen because we had numerous presidents that were weak, ineffective, and afraid of Iran, we're never going to let Iran have a nuclear weapon. And if you think it's okay for people that are sick of mind, that are...
Harry Taylor, are you going to have a bionic butthole? Better, faster, stronger. Seriously, though, I am praying for you. I hope you don't have to have another surgery. That's rough. 8.5 out of 10, Trump. You know what? I'll take it.
Tough, smart, and sick. Really sick. From a policy standpoint, from a standpoint, any which way you want to say, mentally, these are disturbed people. If you think I'm going to allow them, and powerful and rich, to have a nuclear weapon, you can tell your friends at the New York Times, not going to happen.
That means violating international law.
Quiet. You no longer have credibility at the New York Times. Because the New York Times said, Trump won't win the election, and I won in a landslide. I won every swing state. New York Times said, Trump won't win the election. New York Times has no credibility. The credibility they have is it used to be all the news is fit to print. The old gray lady, it was great, but they're running on past fumes, and you can't keep doing that. You have to be able to give the correct news. And people like you, who I know,
robot butthole.
Are fake. You're fake. Go ahead, please.
Your messaging.
Avengers butthole. It's Ultron. You can call your butthole Ultron. Astron.
The war has moved from the war is coming to an end to war going to be bombing Iran to the Stone Ages, and we've heard a range of those kind of messages. So So which is it? Are you winding this down, or are you escalating?
I can't tell you. I don't know. I can't tell you. Depends what they do. This is a critical period. They have a period of till tomorrow at 8:00. I gave them an extension. They asked for an extension of 7 days, right? I said, Steve, give them 10 days. 10 days is up actually today, so I gave them 11. I guess indirectly. I thought it was inappropriate the day after Easter. I want to be a nice person. They have till tomorrow. Now, we'll see what happens. I can tell you they're negotiating, we think, in good faith. We're going to find out. We're getting the help of some incredible countries that want this to be ended because it affects them also. A lot of people are affected by this. But we're giving them till tomorrow, 8:00 Eastern time. And after that, they're going to have no bridges. They're going to have no power plants. Stone Ages, yeah. Stone Ages. CNN fake news.
Are you willing to make a deal that does not include reopening the Strait of Hormuz, or is that now a top priority?
All right, this one next. CNN fake news. Go ahead. Ask your question. You're fake news. You're fake news.
I would say it's a very big priority because, see, that's one thing that's a little different than other things. We can bomb the hell.
Willing to make a deal that does not include reopening the Strait of Hormuz, or is that now a top priority?
I would say it's a very big priority because, see, that's one thing that's a little different than other things. We can bomb the hell out of them. We can knock them out for a little. But to close the strait, all you need is one terrorist that somehow has a truck loaded with, because you can carry them in trucks, large trucks, a water mine, drop them in the water. And now you tell people that own ships that cost $1 billion to don't worry about the mine. You can do that even just by saying we put mines in the water. So it's not like the rest. We can knock out their military. We already have. We've knocked out their Navy. We've knocked out their Air Force completely. We've knocked out 158 ships in 3 days. We've knocked out even their mine droppers. They don't have any mine droppers anymore, but they put them on other boats and they could drop them. I'm not even sure they have any mines yet, by the way. I'm not sure. I'm personally, they say there might be 8. I don't know. I think there might be none. Because they're very good bullshit artists. That's why for 47 years they've been bullshitting other presidents, and they haven't done the job. And people are living in hell. You live in that country, they're living in hell. No, I think that 47 years of this stuff is long enough. They're at the weakest point they've ever been. They have no Navy, they have no Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft.
And the thing about that, I mean, I think he's probably right on that, because the weaker they get, it's like a coyote with its, paw stuck in a trap. It's thrashing about. It's violent. It's an animal that is wounded. You're gonna have a lot of foaming at the mouth and lashing out. You're gonna have that. So this is honestly, he's kind of on point here. They're at their, with their being at their weakest, they're honestly at their most desperate and dangerous, I would say. And if they've got nukes, they're gonna eventually use them. I hope not. I really hope they don't have them. I hope we did actually take away their nuclear capabilities. But if it continues, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be.
Weaponry, they have no radar, they have no communication. In fact, the biggest problem we have in our negotiation is that they can't communicate. I said to Steve, what are they saying? Sir, they can't communicate. They have no method of communication. So we're communicating like they used to communicate 2,000 years ago with children, bringing a note back and forth. They have no communication. But all I want to see is I want to have a safe world, and you're not going to have a safe world. Israel will be gone. The Middle East will be gone, and then they're coming for Europe. And I have to tell you, I'm very disappointed in NATO. Very. I think that NATO, it's a mark on NATO that will never disappear in my mind. They're coming to see me on Wednesday. They're going to say, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. Now they all of a sudden want to.
NATO, never accepting their obligations. That's what it stands for. NATO.
Send things, But they said it loud and clear at the beginning. When I spoke to UK of all, I would have said they would have been there first because they're the oldest. And I said, yeah, I'd love to have a little help. He said, no, sir, we'd rather wait till you win. I said, I don't need help after we win. They have 2 old broken aircraft carriers, barely work. I said, I guess we can use them. Who the hell knows? I called the general. He didn't even want them. He said, we don't really need them. We got the SS Abraham Lincoln, sir. We don't need them.
I wonder how much of this he's supposed to be saying right now. I wonder how much butthole puckering is going on with Raisin Kane over there.
We have, in terms of technology, we had one day 101 missiles going at 2,700 miles an hour aimed at the Abraham Lincoln. 101 missiles. Out of 101 missiles, 101 missiles were shot down. Unbelievable technology. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't know if that would have been possible. But 10 years ago, that wouldn't have been possible. 101 missiles heading to a ship that's not that far off the coast. And out of the 101 missiles, we shot down all 101. We have weaponry. The Patriots are unbelievable. We have weaponry that's unbelievable, yeah. Go ahead, please. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. You said earlier today during the egg roll that you would like to take Iran's oil, but Americans want U.S. forces home.
Correct.
What's that trade-off?
If I had my choice, yeah, because I'm a businessman first. With Venezuela, as you know, the war was over in about 45 minutes. And we have great people running Venezuela, very good people. I mean, the relationship is good. And we are a partner with Venezuela. And we've taken...
Why is he called? Yeah, he did just call it a war. He just called the Venezuela thing a war. I wouldn't call the Venezuela thing a war. That one, I would say it was very, very quick. It was, I guess you could. It's the quickest war in history if it was a war. I would say it was pretty much just a domination. We just went in, fucked them up, took their leader, took the leader's wife, and said, see ya. We discombobulated you. You were so discombobulated. Couldn't even help yourself.
Hundreds of millions of barrels, hundreds of millions. Over 100 million barrels already is in Houston, refined and out. Paid for that war.
Really quick, can we get some of that for to help the fuel costs go down? Because it's like $4.05 at one of the gas stations around here now. It's $3.89, $3.90 at other ones, $3.60 at one place, but it was like $4.05 at one place. I just that sucks. That sucks. I was thinking about getting a truck at some point in my life.
Many times over.
Get a damn Tesla.
Many times. You know the old days, to the victim. Okay? You know that. To the winner belong the spoils. Go the spoils. And I've said, why don't we use it? To the victor, go the spoils. And we don't have that. We haven't had that in this country probably in 100 years, because even the Second World War, you look at the Second World War, we didn't have it with the Second World War. We helped rebuild all those countries. We rebuilt Germany. How about Germany telling us that, well, it's not their war. We had nothing to do with it. They wanted me to go and tell them everything I was doing. We didn't know anything about it. Well, if I would have told them, they would have leaked it, and we wouldn't have been nearly as successful, possibly, right? But to the victor belong the spoils. So we haven't heard that in, I think, maybe hundreds of years. Now with Venezuela, and just so you understand, the people of Venezuela, they say if I ran for president of Venezuela, I'm polling higher than anybody has ever polled in Venezuela. So after I'm finished with this, I can go to Venezuela. I will quickly learn Spanish. It won't take too long. I'm good at language. And I will go to Venezuela. I'm going to run for president. But we're very happy with the president-elect that we have right now. The Venezuela. So after I'm finished with this, I can go to Venezuela. I will quickly learn Spanish. It won't take too long. I'm good at language. And I will go to Venezuela.
Oh, what is he doing? Oh my God. He's so entertaining. He's so entertaining. Fuel costs are up because they keep burning refineries. Yeah, $6 in Seattle, but we are saving the world with taxes. Yeah, that's right. Save the world with taxes. Rewind is an option there. Yeah.
As well, I'm going to run for president, but we're very happy with the president-elect that we have right now. The people that are running it. If you remember Bush with Iraq, they fired the generals, they fired the police, they fired the people that worked in their equivalent of the White House. They fired everybody. And you know what they had? They had a mess. And you know what happened? ISIS formed. Those generals and those soldiers got together. The police got together. They all got together. They formed ISIS. Not going to happen with us. So Venezuela has been an incredible situation. We went in. We were very successful. Military power like nobody's ever seen. The general, Venezuelan general, said, I was on that site. I said, I've never seen ferocity like that. I've been doing this for 40 years. He said, I've never seen it. They hit us from 17 different. They were all set. They saw that big, beautiful aircraft carrier, the Ford in that case, and planes were pouring off it at 1 o'clock in the morning. So typically when you see that late at night, you know, you could be in trouble, right? And we were all ready. They had their equipment. It was Russian. And they had Chinese equipment. It was all set. They were going to give us a fight. He said, and then they came. And they came at speeds like we've never seen. And they came at 17 different angles. The general and his people, that was a lot of angles. They hit him from every angle. He said, we knew it was over in 3 minutes. We were waiting for him. Their equipment didn't work. And there's a reason it didn't work. Someday we'll explain that to people. They pressed the button. Nothing happened. They pressed it again and again. Nothing happened. And he said, we knew this whole thing was over in 3 minutes. We've never seen any. He used the word ferocity. The ferocity of these planes from 17 different angles. And it was over. They went inside. And remember, that was on a military base with thousands of soldiers. And those soldiers looked and they said, get the hell out of here. Thousands. We didn't have thousands. We had like 200 people. So we have a great military. And I'll tell you what, somehow this rescue captured the world's attention. More so than normally. You're talking about 2 people. But this rescue captured the world's attention. But we did it in Venezuela. That was amazing. And now we have a very bad man in prison and going to trial. I mean, he released, aside from the drugs, which he was terrible, Maduro released hundreds of thousands of people from jails into our country. Drug dealers, murderers, the worst people in the world were released into our country because we had a stupid president who probably didn't know. And we had a border czar who never went to the border and never once called our great Border Patrol agents, right? Not once, Kamala. She never called the Border Patrol. She never said, how are we doing? I used to call the Border Patrol guys every day. You can ask them, Paul, ask any one of them. Brandon, ask them all the time. How are we doing? How are we doing? And we now, I'm proud to say, have a totally sealed border. 9 months, nobody is coming through our border. And nobody even tries because they know they're not going to get through. So we don't have caravans anymore. Right. So maybe 1 or 2 more and we'll be done.
Mr. President, are you allowed to, or are you willing to end this conflict with Iran charging tolls for passage through the strait?
Us charging tolls?
Iran.
What about us charging tolls?
Is that something you're considering?
I'd rather do that than let them have them, right? Why shouldn't we? We're the winner. We won, okay? They are militarily defeated. The only thing they have is the psychology of, oh, we're going to drop a couple of mines in the water, all right? No, we have a concept where we'll charge tolls, okay? I thought you meant us. Your question would have been more accurate if you said us. Go ahead.
So just to clarify, in order for Iran to successfully meet your deadline tomorrow, do they have to make a deal, open the strait, or both?
We have to have a deal that's acceptable to me. And part of that deal is going to be, we want free traffic of oil and everything else.
Thank you very much. You've said glory be to God in this conflict. Do you believe that God supports the United States' actions in this
I do,
war?
because
And
God
that
is good. Because God is good, and God wants to see people taken care of. God doesn't like what's happening I don't like what's happening. Everyone says I don't enjoy this. I don't enjoy. These two guys don't enjoy it. You know, people say, "Oh boy, they're so." They don't like. I don't like seeing people killed. I've ended 8 wars. Nobody's ever done it. The person who won the Nobel Prize came to me and said, "You deserve the Nobel Prize." She announced that. When they announced, they said, "Goes to Maria. She's a great person, really a good person." She said, "No. This is ridiculous. They gave me the Nobel Prize. President Trump ended 8 wars. I could go over every one of them, including India and Pakistan, where the Prime Minister of Pakistan said President Trump saved from 30 to 50 million lives." That makes me much happier than what we're doing right now. That makes me much happier. We have one more to end, by the way. Okay.
You called yesterday in your Truth Social, you called the Iranians crazy bastards.
True.
What is your response to critics who say that?
I don't care about critics.
What is your response to critics who say that it is your mental health that should perhaps be examined as this war continues?
I haven't heard that. But if that's the case, you're going to have more people like me, because our country was being ripped off on trade, on everything, for many years until I came along. So if that's the case, you're going to have more people. Josh, you go ahead. Josh,
You said that very little is off limits in Iran as far as targeting,
Yeah.
including power plants, bridges. You've mentioned those.
Very little is off limits.
Are there certain kinds of civilian targets, though? I'm thinking schools
I don't want
or
to tell you
hospitals
that.
you
I don't
would
want to
say
tell you
is
that.
off-
We have a plan, because of the power of our military, where every bridge in Iran will be decimated by 12 o'clock tomorrow night, where every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again. I mean, complete demolition by 12 o'clock. And it'll happen over a period of 4 hours if we wanted to. We don't want that to happen. We may even get involved with helping them rebuild their nation. And you know what? If that's the case, the last thing we want to do is start with power plants.
How about let's not build nations? Let's not rebuild the nation. I don't want to rebuild them. If we fucking take them out, let them sit in the rubble. Nope, not a fan of the rebuild. Nope.
Which are among the most expensive thing, and bridges.
If we're gonna rebuild, we own it. If we're gonna go in and rebuild, it's gonna be another colony. It's gonna be an American colony. How about that? I'll be okay with a rebuild if it's fucking ours. If it's part of the United States. If it's not, no.
The bridge went. We were very close to a deal. And then I got a call from Mr. Witkoff, Mr. Kushner, and JD saying, "I think they're breaking the deal." I said, "Tell them that's okay. Don't worry about it. But tell them to look out their window and watch." And within 45 minutes, I gave the order to knock out the biggest bridge. I gave the order to knock out the biggest bridge in, I believe, the Middle East, but the biggest bridge in Iran. And within 10 minutes after I gave that order, that bridge was over. So do I want to do that? No. Do I want to destroy their infrastructure? No. It will take them 100 years to rebuild. Right now, if we left today, it would take them 20 years to rebuild their country, and it would never be as good as it was. And the only way they're going to be able to rebuild their country is to utilize the genius of the United States of America.
Mr. President, on NATO, you voiced your displeasure with NATO in the past. Is there a danger to the U.S. not being the de facto of the leader of the alliance, and then other powers within the alliance then getting the decision making when it comes to
NATO
wars
should
and
be
security?
No, it's not a danger. Look, we went to NATO. I didn't ask very strongly. I just said, "Hey, if you want to help, great." No, we will not help. I said, "That's all right. You don't want to help?" Because I've always said NATO's a paper tiger. See, NATO is a paper tiger. Putin's not afraid of NATO. Putin's afraid of us, very afraid of us. And he's explained it to me a lot of times. I got to know him very well. I know him very well. NATO's a paper tiger. NATO is us. And when we needed them, but we didn't need them, by the way. We didn't need them, obviously, because they haven't helped at all. Just the opposite. They've actually gone out of their way not to help. They didn't even want to give us landing strips. Think of it. And it's not just NATO. You know who else didn't help us? South Korea didn't help us. You know who else didn't help us? Australia didn't help us. You know who else didn't help us? Japan. We've got 50,000 soldiers in Japan to protect them from North Korea. We have 45,000 soldiers in South Korea to protect us from Kim Jong-un, who I get along with very well, as you know. You notice he said very nice things about me. He used to call Joe Biden a mentally retarded person, okay? So don't tell me about your stuff. Joe Biden, he said he's a mentally retarded person. He was so nasty to Joe Biden. It was terrible. But to me, he likes Trump.
It's true. I mean, it's funny.
You notice how nice things are with North Korea? It's very nice. But we have 45,000 people, soldiers, in harm's way, and right next to Kim Jong-un with a lot of nuclear weapons. 45, which should have never happened if a certain president, I'm not going to mention this president because I happen to like him, believe it or not, but if a certain president did his job, Kim Jong-un would not have nuclear weapons right now. But they're all afraid to do their job properly. But just to conclude and just to finish, Japan didn't help us, Australia didn't help us, South Korea didn't help us, and then you get to NATO, NATO didn't help us. There were some countries that did. Now, countries that have been good, now you could also say they're got to be a little bit more involved because they're in the territory, but Saudi Arabia has been excellent, Qatar has been excellent, UAE has been excellent, Bahrain, Kuwait. I mean, Kuwait did shoot down 3 of our planes. The only planes, really, that we lost with friendly fire, they call it. I call it unfriendly fire. They unfortunately didn't know how to use our great Patriots.
I'm wondering which
what kind of a missile's coming at us? Patriot.
So,
boom, they got out.
He was talking about the president that let North Korea get the nuke. Would that have been further back? When did North Korea get nukes? Which president was he talking about? That's a. I'm curious now. When did North Korea, under which U.S. president did North. We're doing some on-the-fly searching here. It was under Bill Clinton. But it, so they didn't test its first nuclear weapon until George W. Huh. Interesting. I guess it was Clinton. Yeah, he said he likes Clinton a few times, guys. Not a new statement for him, honestly. He said it a few times. There's Bush. Kreml seems to be acting up on the vid. Damn. Not good. Bush Senior, maybe? I don't know. I was just looking at, did a quick Brave browser search. Was it on Brave?
Because they know a Patriot never misses. So they had beautiful
No, it was
Patriots.
Google. Damn it.
There were planes heading in their direction. Unfortunately, they decided to shoot those planes. They were our planes. So, NATO is a paper tiger. Now, he's coming to see me on Wednesday, as you know. He's a wonderful guy. Secretary General is great. And Mark Rutte, he's a great person, but he's got, and it all began with, if you want to know the truth, Greenland. Greenland. They don't want to give it to us. And I said, bye-bye. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
Bye-bye. I mean, gas prices is a good question. Yeah. Well, there that was. That didn't expect to watch that tonight, but thank you. I think it was 17 George mentioned that on Pilled. I think it was worth a watch. Yeah. I feel a little bit more informed. I don't know about you guys. It was entertaining. That was damn entertaining to watch. You got to give it to that. When Trump stepped into North Korea territory is when I liked him. It was a ballsy move. He just laid it on the table. He did. Even CNN likes George Bush Sr. That is, yeah. No, it's weird. It's people like George W. Bush now. Like, oh, he's just a nice painter. Did anybody ever try to start liking Dick Cheney? You know what? I think they did. I think the left started to like Dick Cheney when he was talking stuff about Trump. Yep, because Liz Cheney, whatever happened to that harpy? She was awful. Awful human being. I got some stuff to share with you guys. Let's go. Wow, that was the first topic for 2 hours, because we started really getting into the topics at about an hour, at about 45 minutes into the stream. We have a couple other topics that I want to talk about tonight. We got more on missing scientists that are associated with the UFO stuff. Eric Burlison has some interesting perspectives on these missing scientists. What is going on here? My bookmarks are acting up again. X has got to fix their bookmarks, gosh darn it. Oh, here's a cool one. Look at the moon, guys. They're getting some really cool shots of the moon. Speaking of possible UFO-related stuff. Boom. Moon. Apparently there is just an X account called Moon. Am I going to follow the moon? Does the moon follow me? Oh, look at that. They gained followers. I'm under 4,000 followers on the X machine now. Huzzah. Not sure what that's about. Another bot purge, perhaps. I didn't realize the moon had so many different colors. I thought it was just, grays and silvers. But, yeah. I don't know. Honey in space? Well, that's excellent. Ah. Space honey. Oh, by the way, their toilet has been malfunctioning. It is... Singland. MOON, that spells pedo. Oh no. Good lord. That is from The Stand, isn't it? Yeah. But apparently the toilet is $23 million. It's a $23 million shitter, and it's malfunctioning. Yeah. It's bad. It's bad. Show the moon bases. Apparently, they found some strange patterns on the other side of the moon. That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, the woman that was supposed to be the plumber can't do shit about it. Yeah, look at that. Space Honey. You know what? Space Honey was in Futurama. It was a sad episode. Oh, here's a good one. Christ proclaimed at the farthest point humans have ever traveled. Space travel is Christian. Some actually fairly religious folks up there right now, apparently, which I'm happy about. Worth every poop dollar. Oh, God.
It's a privilege to be on this. And thank you to all of you for allowing us the immense privilege to be on this journey together. It's quite amazing. And as we go on this journey, thinking about the NASA mission to explore the unknown in air and space, to innovate for the benefit of humanity, and to inspire the world through discovery. And as you've gone along on this journey with us, hopefully we're doing just those things. And as we get close to the nearest point to the moon and farthest point from Earth, as we continue to unlock the mysteries of the cosmos, I would like to remind you of one of the most important mysteries there on Earth, and that's love. Christ said in response to what was the greatest command, that it was to love God with all that you are. And he also, being a great teacher, said the second is equal to it, and that is to love your neighbor as yourself. And so, as we prepare to go out of radio communication, we're still going to feel your love from Earth, and to all of you down there on Earth and around Earth, we love you from the moon.
That's cool. That's cool. I love that. I love that. It's good stuff. Here's pretty cool. Here's another good one. Matt Walsh saying the dorks who found reasons to be cynical and critical about this mission look dumber by the day. This whole thing has been so cool. The crew's been sharing the gospel the entire time. And now this moment. If you can't be inspired by this, you're dead inside. An empty vessel. The Artemis II crew named a lunar crater after Commander Reed Wiseman's late wife, Carol. What a beautiful and touching moment. I'm not crying. You're crying. Well, I'm not crying. It's pretty cool, though. They named a crater.
So we lost a loved one. Her name was Carol, the spouse of Reed, the mother of Katie and Ellie. And if you want to find this one, you look at Glushko, and it's just to the northwest of that, at the same latitude as Ohm, and it's a bright spot on the moon.
That's cool.
And we would like to call it Carol. And you spell that C-A-R-R-O-L-L.
That's awesome. What's up, JDL37? Good to see you. And look at that, you got gifted the sub. So when did his wife die when he was on this trip? I hope that, I mean, sad regardless, but I really hope it wasn't when he was traveling. God bless him. That's a nice gesture. JDL can now slap the peach if she wants. Or, I don't know why I said she. JDL can now slap the peach.
Integrity and Carol Crater. Loud and clear. Thank you.
It's because I saw a lady on the screen. Now that we have tears in space. Yep. Look at that. Look at that. Hairy toe. Hairy toe with a slap of that peach. For some reason, they do not show the user profile pictures on Rumble. Well, in the chat anyways. Canvas. Let me get rid of this here. Let's go ahead and get into the next topic here. We got Eric Burlison, speaking of space stuff and scientists. Eric Burlison was talking about stuff and things with OAN and talking about the disappearance and deaths of multiple scientists and military personnel with ties to advanced research. Deeply concerning. Yeah, I'm concerned about it too. I'm very concerned about it. Harry Toe talking about that. Bacon. Indeed. Lady Dozer. Gonna share a little joke here from Lady Dozer. So, you know how light travels faster than sound, right? Is that why sometimes someone will seem bright when you first meet them until you hear them speak? It's a good joke. She saw it on the Chicom app, the TikTok. You'd have machine parts for Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo. That's right, I remember you talking about that before. That's really cool. Okay, so let me go ahead and start sharing this. Get rid of that one. So I do like I like a lot of the stuff that Canvas has been, the Canvas beta has now. It was a little bit quicker. So you got to click add to stage. So you click share the screen, then you got to, so it's a two-step thing of sharing the screen now. But, all right, from OAN, One America News. Rep. Eric Burlison calls for FBI probe into deeply concerning scientists and military personnel disappearances and deaths. Yeah, I would too. The list of U.S. scientists and military personnel who have gone missing has grown in recent months, beginning with the July 4th, 2024 disappearance of Frank Mywald, a National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, Jet Propulsion Laboratory researcher, following several more high-profile disappearances, including a senior aerospace engineer and a retired Air Force General. Representative Eric Burlison, Republican from Missouri, Southwest Missouri, is demanding a federal investigation, citing the deeply concerning ties that these individuals share with advanced research. Burlison revealed that he has asked for the involvement of the FBI, good luck with that, to determine what is up, Colt 45 podcast? Good to see you. To determine if these incidents are connected to or represent a targeted threat to national security. The disappearance of multiple scientists and military personnel with ties to advanced research is deeply concerning. I've already requested FBI involvement, and we will keep pressing for answers, Burleson said said Monday on X. Let's see if we'll be able to click this.
We're still trying to figure out whether it's nuclear or dark matter or however you want to look at it, whatever angle you want to take. They had something in common, and now they've mysteriously disappeared or died.
Yeah, it's remarkable that General McCaslin apparently walked out of his home, left all of his devices, and never came back. And Monica Reza, she was on a hike as well and mysteriously disappeared. And I've heard of others.
Cool,
I sent a letter to the FBI investigating the suspicious suicide of another individual who had worked alongside, other whistleblowers like David Grush and Jake Barber who had come forward. So their colleague is mysteriously committed suicide. We've already sent the letter to the FBI to investigate that, and that is an ongoing investigation. So these are other things that we'll probably be reaching out to the FBI to see if they have anything going on these, and if not, then we're going to ask them to do that.
Interesting. Most recently, William Neil McCaslin, a retired Air Force general, went missing in Albuquerque, New Mexico on February 27th. He previously held a senior leadership role in the U.S. Air Force, overseeing technology and space research. However, McCaslin's wife, Susan McCaslin Wilkerson, hyphenated name, said in a Facebook post on March 12th that she did not believe her husband's disappearance was related to the classified information he had access to. It is true that when Neil was in the Air Force, he had access to some highly classified programs and information. He retired from the Air Force almost 13 years ago and has had only very commonly held clearances since. It seems quite unlikely that he was taken to extract very dated secrets from him, she wrote. His disappearance has drawn significant attention to the case of Monica Reza, who vanished just months earlier while hiking. Notably, Reza had worked on a government-funded rocket materials project that had been overseen by McCaslin. Missing scientists classified programs advanced tech. This isn't speculation, it's a transparency problem. Congress is pushing for answers. Well, as they should. Push harder, darn it. Push harder. Oh my gosh, Cash might not look into this. I know. Yeah, I am disillusioned with the FBI.
Yeah, scientists are mysteriously disappearing, and now U.S. congressmen are looking for answers. Within a span of 8 months,
Did he just say scientists? Scientists? Ease up a little bit, buddy. Ease up. You're on the news. Get the neutral. Get the neutral tone going. Scientists are turning up missing.
Major figures in the Air Force Research Lab vanished without a trace. Monica Reza, a rocket scientist, went missing while hiking in Los Angeles.
That's a Southern boy right there. A rocket scientist.
Back in June, and retired Air Force Major General William Neal McCaslin, who reportedly oversaw classified space weapons programs and has been described as a
JDL is a Dozer Den badass. Made machine parts for fighter jets. That's awesome. That's such a cool thing. That's such a cool notch on the belt. That's awesome. I'm glad for you, JDL.
Quote, UFO expert, disappeared from his home on February 27th. Meanwhile, another 3 scientists were either murdered or found dead in just the last 3 months, including an astrophysicist credited with discovering water on a distant planet, and an MIT scientist who...
It was the planet where it was the Zeta Reticuli, probably.
Whose research reportedly may be tied to secret UFO technology. Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett tells the Daily Mail that he sees a clear pattern in these disappearances and deaths, noting their work has been linked to theories about alien spacecraft. Here with the reaction is Missouri Congressman Eric Burlison, who is a member of the task force on the declassification of federal secrets. Congressman, thank you for joining us. You know, a lot of people are going to hear alien UFO, they're going to roll their eyes. So let's tackle it from this. These are
guys, really quick. I see 24 people watching this on Rumble. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, smash that like button. If you haven't said hello in the chat, say hello in the chat. If you haven't reposted this stream on Rumble, hit that repost button. Cool thing about the repost, people that follow you will see it, and it goes in a repost tab on Rumble. Let's welcome more Killdozers into the Dozer Den. And if you haven't followed the channel yet, smash that follow button with all your might.
Some of the nexus that these people, I think it's up to 8 now, with 2 or 3 kind of being maybe a murder-suicide. But I think it's up to 8 that have some sort of connection to specific places, like I believe it's Los Alamos, the lab there. And so to the very least, these are people who were working in or recently administrators on tech that we're still trying to figure out, whether it's nuclear or dark matter or however you want to look at it, whatever angle you want to take. They had something in common, and now they've mysteriously disappeared or died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's remarkable that General McCaslin apparently walked out of his home, left all of his devices, and never came back. And Monica Reza, she was on a hike as well, and mysteriously
they got him some contacts. Or he got LASIK. They said, "Boy, those Coke bottle lenses ain't doing you no favors." Oh God, my Southern came out. I'm sorry.
Disappeared, and I've heard of others. We've already sent a letter. When I first came in, I heard of another gentleman, and I'll keep that name to out of respect. I sent a letter to the FBI investigating the suspicious suicide of another individual who had worked alongside, other whistleblowers like David Grush and Jake Barber who had come forward. So their colleague is mysteriously committed suicide. We've already sent the letter to the FBI to investigate that, and that is an ongoing investigation. So these are other things that we'll probably be reaching out to the FBI to see if they have anything going on these, and if not, then we're going to ask them to do that.
Yes, certainly. Congressman, I am all bought and sold in to the alien discussion. I watch a documentary that I reference on this show often called Age of Disclosure. I'm sure you're familiar with it. But in that documentary, those that have seen it know that those that are whistleblowers and talking about UFO activity, alien activity, they know that they are fearful of retaliation, retribution, whatever, for disclosing alien activity.
So Saturday, do you guys want to watch the S4, that Bob Lazar new movie? I think you can get it on Amazon Prime right now. I'm thinking about it. That's probably what we're gonna do. I think we can do that if I pay for it. I don't think I'm violating any laws by doing that, am I? Hope not. I don't think so.
Or the, I guess anything related to it. So how much of this are you concerned? It could be not the aliens themselves doing this, but somebody who possibly wants to shut people up. That's what I'm concerned about.
That's my concern as well. Look, let's set the alien from another planet topic aside. There's clearly demonstrated technology that is extremely advanced, and I've seen videos. We've had a lot of reports. We've had pilots that have encountered these objects. There is a type of technology that is so cutting edge and advanced, whether it's being held by a foreign entity or a private contractor in the United States. What's clear is that they are doing. There's a lot of work to keep very highly guarded the secret of that technology, and also probably a lot of work that's being done by our adversaries to try to discover what this technology is.
Congressman Kevin Corke.
I would not advise clicking the link that just got posted in the chat. Just saying. From username, I have a message for you all. Message in all caps. If you are a real person, say so in the chat. I have a message for you all. I kind of doubt it. But if you're real, say hi. Participate in the conversation. There's some really cool folks here in the Dozer Den.
With you, if you're from St. Louis, I'd say where'd you go to high school? But I know you are from the great state of Missouri, and we appreciate your time tonight. I do want.
No. You're on the news, so you said it wrong. You said Missouri. No, it's Missouri. Never Missouri. I hate that. It's with a passion.
I'm going to ask you about two parts to this question. One, is it possible that there was a romantic nexus between the two folks that may have disappeared, or have you all looked into that particular angle? And I guess the second part of my question is, as it relates to discoveries, be they extraterrestrial, be they spiritual bodies, this is something that's incredibly fascinating to millions and millions of people all over the world. Is it unreasonable to expect that there might be, to use an oft-used phrase, more out there?
On your first question, the thought had crossed my mind as well, but I'll let the investigators determine that. I don't want to speculate because at the end of the day, these individuals that have gone missing have loved ones and family members that we don't want to. I don't want to, muddy that. But to your second question about, look, that's what we're looking into. I'm trying to figure out what is going on, what is actually flying in our airspace, what's going over some of our air, whether it's a military base or some of our missile silos locations. There's a lot of activity that's reported and documented.
Rest well, Harry Toto. Appreciate you hanging out here in the Dozer Den and the support.
And it's important that we identify and figure out what's going on. Now, in my effort, what I've made very clear is that if I uncover the fact that we are not alone in this universe, that's not something for any politician, any government to withhold from humanity. That is not top secret, and it shouldn't be top secret. But any kind of advanced technology that keeps us safe is probably something we should guard and protect.
Congressman, it's Nicole Sapphire. Kind of a two-part question. First of all, thinking about these scientists that are missing. I mean, when I was reading about them and reading about their backgrounds, I mean, Reza had a patented super alloy that was the hopes were that was eliminate the U.S. reliance on Russian rocket tech. And then this company sold for $4.7 billion. When I hear numbers like that, and then I hear some of the international security issues, it does make me wonder, is there a reason for her to have gone missing, and not because of the UFO thing, but is there more at stake? It has something to do with, her patent and all of this money. But kind of my second part of what I want to say is what kind of piggybacking on what you were just saying is, Christopher Mellon, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense Intelligence during Clinton and Bush administrations, told the Post last week that the federal government possesses a jaw-dropping trove of photos and videos. Mm-hmm. If that's true, what is the impetus in keeping this from the American people? Is it so that there isn't a mass panic? Why would they do that?
I don't know why they've been keeping it a secret for so long. There are a lot of these videos that they're keeping classified have been captured on technology that we don't want our adversaries to know that we have the ability to capture. So in other words, the cameras themselves are highly classified, and because of that, we don't want to release the footage. Now, that doesn't mean that Congress shouldn't be able to see this, which is why I've been, we have a lot of whistleblowers that have come forward. I've been given a list of about 2 to 3 dozen of these files and have submitted a request, an official request to Tulsi Gabbard's office, to the Department of War, to, the Secretary of State and the Department of Energy to be able to see these files. And I've got a contact with other whistleblowers. There's more files to come. So when we've got people on the inside watching to see, based on our request, if these files have been moved, if they are deleted or changed in any way, to avoid that. So we're on the trail, and hopefully Congress can be able to at least get our eyes on these videos and give some insights to the American people.
Congressman Eric Burlison, thank you for joining us. Thank you for bringing some answers. I hope you all do find some answers and make them public.
We will. Thank you.
Yes.
If they let you. That's if they let you make them public. Let's see if this is going to cover anything else here. It just mentions that when asked if authorities believe something nefarious may have happened on the disappearance of McCaslin, Lieutenant Kyle Woods of the Bernalillo? How do you pronounce that? Bernalillo? Yellow? A county sheriff office. We haven't ruled anything out yet, but we have nothing pointing to it either. Is that supposed to be Bernardillo? I feel like it should be Bernardillo, not Bernalillo. I don't know. Yeah. Well, we'll go ahead and get rid of the bot really quick. Thanks for letting me know, Harry Toe. I figured it was, but we'll just go ahead and delete them. Mute. Forever. Gone. 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 Gone like a freight train. Gone like yesterday. Civil War. Bang, bang. All right, back to this. There it is. What's up, Jixer, Trickster? What's happening? Oh, things are happening. Talking about the scientists that are missing or dead, associated with advanced propulsion, finding water on distant planets, and UFO stuff. Very interesting. There's too many. Oh, and we have a timeline of disappearances coming up here. So Congressman Tim Burchett said that saying he believes the number of deaths in these research fields is too high to be coincidental. There have been several others throughout the country that have disappeared under suspicious circumstances. I think we ought to pay attention to it, said Congressman Burchett. I think I've got Burchett's voice down. I'm getting close. I think I've got him about nailed. It's great. It's great. All right, timeline of disappearances and deaths. July 4th, We had Frank Mywald, the prominent NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory JPL researcher, died in Los Angeles at age 61 despite his senior role. No cause of death was disclosed. No autopsy was performed, and NASA has issued no public comment. All right. May 4th, 2025, Anthony Chavez, the former Los Alamos National Laboratory worker, disappeared without a trace. June 22nd, 2025, Monica Reza, the NASA scientist, vanished while hiking in the Angeles National Forest, reportedly while only 30 feet away from her companions. That one freaks me out. 30 feet away, you turn around, you turn back, and she's just gone. No trace, none whatsoever. I wonder if they had a time skip. That would be interesting. June 26th, 2025, Melissa Cassius, the Los Alamos administrative assistant, vanished from her home. Her phones were later discovered factory resets. That was an abduction. Not necessarily alien. December 12th, 2025, Jason Thomas, the Novartis researcher, disappeared, beginning a 3-month search until his body was recovered from a lake on March 17th, 2026. December 15th, 2025, Nuno Loureiro, the director of MIT's Plasma Science and Fusion Center, was killed at his home in Brookline, Massachusetts. February 16th, 2026, Carl Grillmeyer, the astrophysicist, was fatally shot on his front porch in the early morning hours. February 27th, we have Major General Neil McCasland, the retired Air Force official, walked out of his New Mexico home without his phone or glasses and has not been seen since. That's sus. All right. Well, there we go. Interesting stuff. Very interesting. I think it's not just a coincidence. I think there's some nefarious stuff going on. I think that these scientists are very involved with some very sensitive topics, and I think certain entities don't want the information out in the public. That's what I think. Huh. Novartis GMO seeds? Interesting. Huh. Didn't know about that. Thanks for the information, Hamburglar Helper. All right, let me see what we got here. Let's go ahead and, since we're talking the possible alien connection there, I think we should probably go ahead and check out this next thing here. Let me do some scrolling. Do you guys want to see another thing, another video of the moon? If you believe that the moon is real. This is pretty cool. It's a really cool set they got there in Arizona. So I guess this is from the other side, huh? That right there be the moon's butthole. The moon anus. Is there silver on the moon? I feel like there's silver on the moon. We should mine the moon for silver. You know, there for a while they thought about nuking the moon. Why? I don't know, just flex. Give it another crater. GMO corn and soybeans. Interesting. Well, that could be a connection. I'm thinking of the X-Files. All the cornfields and stuff. Seems like the X-Files might have just been predictive programming. Nice. Looks like cheese to me. Looks like cheese to me. Okay. Flat moon theory founder here. Flat moon. It's just a disc. Just a silver disc in the sky.
So we lost a loved one.
Silence.
Her name was Carol.
Nobody told you to talk.
And thank you to Katie and.
There we go. Now it's quiet. Here we go. Here's Burchett with TMZ. I don't know. I don't know what to believe right now with all this stuff. I I don't think Tim Burchett's lying to us. I think the sun is flat. My God. We're breaking ground. That's an hypothesis I have not heard yet, Hamburglar Helper. Flat sun theorist.
What did you see now? I guess it would be about 2 weeks ago. That was very alarming, the way you said that, at least.
Yeah, well, because of the circumstances and where it was, I can't get into too much specifics, but it was elaborating on some stuff that we'd asked for, and it was important to get this person in a secure setting to where we could ask him these questions. And there's somebody in the meeting with us, one of my colleagues, I guess you'd
Thanks for the repost, Hopper.
Was basically there just to kind of upset the apple cart and to throw, a monkey wrench into the deal. And every time a question was asked by this particular part.
Real quick, just got to shout out all the people who have reposted this episode of the Dozer Den. We've got Sanglant with a repost, Down 7232 with a repost, Frog Springs and Friends with a repost, Down 7232 with a comment. Awesome, commenting is caring. Selva Sojourn with a repost, Laura Blades, and then Hopper 433 with a repost. You guys freaking rock. Thank you for helping spread the word and hopefully welcoming more Killdozers here into the Dozer Den.
It was really the answers were out there, and they gave them, and they gave specifics, they gave addresses, they gave times and dates, and people that were in the meeting, and this went all the way up to the executive branch of previous presidents, not this current president.
So there have been different reports over the years. Some reports that there have been pieces of machinery that were found that did not seem earthly. And then there have been reports about life that is not earthly. Which one of those two, or both, are you talking about? A form of life that is not earthly, or just something mechanical that's not earthly?
I'd say you'd be safe to say both.
The way you described this, whatever happened at this meeting, this briefing that was happening, was there something that if we knew, we would feel that we are in danger? You said you wouldn't sleep at night if you knew the things that I saw in these briefings.
Yeah.
Should we believe that that's the part where it seemed alarming?
I don't think we're at danger of this. I mean, if these things exist as I think they do, they could have destroyed us with a blink of an eye. I just don't see that. And I think that's, I just think, but I do think they have the technology and the capabilities of something that we can't understand or we can't grasp.
What I want to make sure I'm understanding is a member of our government has told you and others, I guess, that there is a form of alien life and machinery which maybe brought this living creature here that
creatures
interacted in some form with people.
Yeah.
He just said, yeah. So a lot of them have been saying non-human intelligence, which would lead you to believe that it's quite possibly something maybe from here. Maybe something old. But maybe if it's something like in the S4 documentary, apparently they talk about how the ship that Bob Lazar was exposed to was actually an archaeological find. And then again, like I said, X-Files was predictive programming.
They have, and they've it's pretty wild. I know, but I'm just telling you, I'm not going to lie to you. I'd take a lie to tell you. You want to put me on a polygraph, I'll take it.
Do it.
But this is what the guy told me. I mean, I've had a very high-ranking naval official describe. I've talked about this before. Underwater craft, something big as a football field, moving at over 200 miles an hour. And there's no fish in the ocean that would do that. We don't even have a sub that'll.
It's the Leviathan. That's what it is. Leviathan, y'all.
Probably do 40 miles an hour under the. And the last thing he said before he left my office was, it was kind of weird because he didn't go out he went out the side door, which nobody ever uses. And he looked at me, he pulled me up close, and he said, "Tim, they're real." And that's the last thing he said to me. That'll be the title of my book, I guess. Matt Gaetz was involved in something here just recently. He was interviewed and he talked about this interbreeding thing with.
We saw that. We saw
Yeah.
that.
Well, that's a true story. That was military personnel. I think that would be a good story to talk to him about if you all can do that.
Right. He's
just like, I'm so torn because like we've heard about stuff like this for years, and people like Alex Jones have been talking about alien human hybrids and hybrid creatures and stuff like that for years. And if you think about it biblically, you talk about the Nephilim and stuff like that. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but my God, if they do put that out on Front Street, what's gonna happen to the people that are involved in making that happen? Like, what? I don't know. What's up, Castro? Good to see you, bud. So he said that's a true story that a military personnel in uniform told him about the alien human hybrid breeding program. Like, I have so many questions. I want to know more, Mr. Burchett, Mr. Skateboard Manufacturer. That's right. This guy in his spare time makes skateboards. He's actually apparently very talented. I think he might actually use them too. I don't remember. I think he makes them, but I don't know if he uses them. He's a craftsman. Good to see you, Castro. Sup, savages. What's up, man? This is okay, I don't think he's lying to us that he's been told these things. I fully believe that he's been told these things. Now, whether or not these things are actually legitimate, that's a good question. It's a damn good question.
He learned that from someone in the military.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a guy, it was an officer in uniform.
Yeah.
And Matt and I and Representative Luna, we all went down to Florida, and we were turned away. And then Matt made a phone call to somebody at the Pentagon, and all of a sudden they opened the doors and brought the pilots in that were supposed to tell us the story in the first place. And he can probably elaborate a little bit more on that. But that was pretty fantastic. That was a made for TV special right there in itself.
Jesus. What are we supposed to do with that? Like, as people, what are we supposed to do with that? I don't know. I mean, like, I just have many, many questions. I want to do a little bit of digging. I want to break out my shovel, and I want to do some motivational interviewing of these people, and I want to figure out exactly what the hell is going on. Okay? And that's what I want to do. But I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. We'll see, I suppose, with this disclosure stuff, with the Iran war stuff, with the... We'll see. We'll see. But my goodness, what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive, y'all. Hope y'all had a happy Easter. Hope y'all are having a decent Monday. Oh, wait, it's Tuesday now. Tuesday here, anyways. In God's time, Central Time. But with all that, we are going to go ahead and wrap things up here. Who are we going to raid on Rumble? Because we've been going a little over 3 hours. I usually try to keep it about 3 hours. So, we got to find somebody to raid. If you haven't reposted the stream, smash the repost button. You do have to say something when you repost. Now, I don't even say you have to be nice. You could call me a fag if you like in your repost. I don't know if it'll show up. But, you got to say something in that repost. Cool thing about the repost, people that follow you are going to see it, and it goes in the repost tab. Smash the like button. I see 23 likes, 23 people watching. Not bad. Pretty good ratio. Good job, guys. Good job smashing that like button. Commenting in the comment section apparently is helpful as well, so throw a comment out there in the chat. Mix it up. Go back and forth with somebody. Call somebody else a fag if you like. Or be nice. You can do that too. Being nice, it's a novel idea, but you can do it. But commenting in the comment section is caring. And helps the channel grow, I guess. That's what they tell me, anyways. Who is they? I don't know. Somebody. But look at that. Look at that. A slap of the peach for you. Slap of that peach for you, Castro. Who are we going to raid? Let me look here. God, the Rift TV is going. Who we going to raid out to? We got a raid from Good Logic on Saturday. Do we want to raid to him tonight? Maybe not. I would do Camelot, but I don't think he raids out on Rumble. See, we raided to Cool Frog the other day. Let's raid to 3rd Railify. Why not? Send you guys over that way. Okay. Let's see. What are they talking about today over there? Good Lord. Well, let's see. Oh, nope. I don't need to type. Not in their chat. It needs to be in my chat. Look at that. Down 7232 with a comment. Liked. Says check him out. Thank you. Cigarette in the UK? Yeah. Let's see. But before I send you guys over to somebody else, we are going to do the Dozer Den theme song. I do a little dance. I have a little fun. I don't make love because it's not that type of show. We do talk about stuff and things. Stuff and things here in the Dozer Den. We're going to raid on Pilled, who is live. We'll do Hard News Network. Why not? There we go. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Dozer Den. I'll be back tomorrow at 9 p.m. Sometimes stuff does happen. All right. And like I said, I might start the show a little bit early depending on what's going on in the world. If there's a bunch of stuff popping off, so if I have some live footage that I can start streaming with you guys, I might start a little bit early. Depends. If that's the case, I will let everybody know in Discord and on X, on Pilled, on Minds. If you want to follow me on Minds. I really need to change my username over there. But anyways, yeah. I'll let people know if I do go live a little early tomorrow. Not sure about that yet, but we'll see. Let us play the Dozer Den theme song. Appreciate each and every one of y'all.
Land of power, land of might, exceptional rage, endless fight, patriot bulldozer, leading the way, crushing all foes, making them pay. Flag in hand, fury in eyes, screams of pride, ignoring lies, iron grip, ruthless and cold, American dream, fierce and bold, bow before the storm, unstoppable wave, marching forward, no soul to save, bulldozers wrath, tearing apart, exceptionalism, fire in the heart, no retreat, no surrender, bulldozers force, a savage offender, red, white, blue, burning bright, in the chaos he finds delight, blazing trails of destruction left, in the name of the blessed theft, freedom's price, a crimson blade, bulldozer, savage of fear, legend man.
Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Dozer Den. Oh, what's up, Mod King? Good to see you, bud. Y'all have a good one.